A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
The Columbia Broadcasting System presents a new comedy,
My Friend Irma.
starring Marie Wilson as Irma and Kathy Lewis as Jane, with John Brown as Al.
Friendship, friendship, just a perfect friendship. When other friendships have been forgot, theirs will still be hot. Love, love, love.
Sure, it's something to sing about. And they can sing about it maybe because they haven't any friends. But I'm singing the blues about it because I've got a friend. My friend Irma. Now, don't get me wrong. I love that girl. Most people do. It's just that Mother Nature gave some girls brains, intelligence, cleverness. But with Irma, well, Mother Nature slipped her a Mickey. I will never forget the first time I met her. I was walking along looking for a place to live in New York, and by a strange coincidence, I am having a very tough time. And I keep bumping into people, and I keep saying, I beg your pardon. Excuse me, until...
Oh, excuse me. I just never look where I'm going. I just keep walking with my head high, just like the doctor told me, and taking deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling like this. I keep counting to myself, 1, 2, 3...
Look, miss, will you stop counting long enough to help me up?
Oh, of course, you must be uncomfortable on your knees.
Oh, no, not at all, honey. I'd love it down here if I was Al Jolson.
Did you see that picture, the Jolson story? I just loved it. I cried and cried.
Fine. Now, would you please help me up?
Oh, certainly. Here, give me your hand. Oh, my, what a beautiful ring. You know, my boyfriend, Al, he was going to get me one just like that. We had it all picked out, only you know what happened?
It wouldn't fit your nose.
Well, it wasn't for my nose. It was for my finger. It wouldn't fit my nose.
I wish it had. I could have pulled myself up.
Oh, you want to get up, don't you?
Yes, if you please. I can't make much time crawling.
I can't either. I always walk. Well, here we go. Up the daisy. Oh, careful, your dress. Oh, we ripped it, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
But you know something? They're wearing split skirts in New York this year.
Yeah, I know, but not all the way up to the neck.
Hey, we haven't been introduced yet. My name's Irma. What's yours?
Goodbye.
Oh, what an unusual name. What's your last name?
Forever.
That's a pretty name, miss. Goodbye forever.
Oh, Irma. That's when I should have run, but I didn't. Apartments are too hard to find these days, and Irma, bless her heart, is really a sweet kid. So I moved in with her in that one-room furnished freight elevator she called home.
Jane, the telephone's ringing. Jane, the telephone's ringing.
Aren't you going to answer it?
I don't know if it's for me.
Well, take a chance. Take a chance. It's not your nickel.
Hello? Hello? Yeah, she's here. Jane, it's for me.
Irma? You know, if Marconi knew that you were going to use the telephone, he never would have invented it.
Oh, Jane, I'm surprised at you. Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone, not Marconi.
You see, I'm beginning to think like you.
Everybody knows that Marconi invented spaghetti.
Irma, the telephone.
Oh, hello? Al? Jane, it's Al.
Well, what are you waiting for? Run down to the police station with the bail.
Oh, don't be silly. He's not in jail. Hello, Al? Eh? I? Oh, you?
That's enough for the vowels, Irma. Now try the consonants.
Okay, Al. Goodbye. Jane, Al's coming over.
Oh, honey. Why do you have to spoil our Sunday by having that jobless, phony windbag of an Al over?
Jane.
Yes?
What's your opinion of Al?
I like him. I think he's a live wire, and it's just a matter of time before they hook him up and put a chair under him.
Oh, Jane, I wish you wouldn't pick on Al, because someday I hope to be Mrs. Al.
Oh, sweetie. Oh, sweetie, look, I didn't mean it. Now, stop sniffling. You'll ruin your pretty face with your mascara. Come on.
But I love Al.
Yeah, I know you do, Irma. That's the reason I'm hard on him. I want to be sure that the guy who gets my little Irma's heart's got a big enough heart to match it.
Gee, thanks, Jane. Gee, wouldn't it be wonderful if I married Al and you could, and we could have a double wedding?
A double wedding? How do you figure that?
It would be if you married Richard Rhinelander III.
That was my blood pressure rising. She would mention his name. You see, Richard Rhinelander III is my boss, and I'm his private secretary. I'm in love with him, but I have no chance to marry him because he's Richard Rhinelander III, and I'm Jane Stacy I. Oh, I tried everything to impress him. I even told him I lived in a very intellectual atmosphere and that my roommate is a promising young novelist. Oh, Stacy, you fool, you. If he ever finds out how you live and what a mental midget Irma really is, you must end up right between the 8, 9, and 10 ball. Gee, I'd love to marry him. Irma, wouldn't it be wonderful if I wound up being Mrs. Richard Rhinelander III?
The third? What good is that if he has 2 other wives?
You know, I won't even stop to answer that one.
Gee, I couldn't marry a wealthy man and have to go to the opera. I don't know a thing about Shakespeare.
Honey, with $5 million, all you got to know about Shakespeare is that he's dead and you're alive. Well, let's forget Mr. Rhinelander. I'll never marry him because there's a difference in family. His ancestors were Mayflower people.
Gee, they made all that money out of donuts?
Irma, if you say another word to me, I'll scream.
Well, if you do, you'll wake up Professor Kropotkin, the violinist downstairs, and he needs sleep.
Irma, I'm going to take a bath.
Well, Jane, don't use all the hot water. This is the day we wash the dishes. Hello? Who did you want to talk to? Jane? Who's this? Oh, Mr. Richard Rhinelander. Well, Jane's busy. Do you want to hang on for about 20 minutes? Yes, this is Irma, her roommate. How's my book? Oh, I finished it and I'm starting another. Hard on me. No, you know those giant comics are mostly pictures. Oh, I'd like to meet you too, Mr. Rhinelander. Say, I've got an idea. Why don't you dash over for dinner tonight? Huh? Oh, it's no bother. Oh, we'd love to have you. And, by the way, if it's not inconvenient, ask your mother to bake us some donuts. Remember, see you at 7:30, and don't bother to dress. It's strictly au gratin. Now, who could that be? Come in.
Hiya, chicken. How are you?
Hello, Al, honey. Gee, I'm glad you came over.
I didn't think I could make it. Took time off from 3 deals that were just simmering, dying to burst into flame. Stuff like stucco bathtubs, scratch while you bathe. Tremendous projects.
Oh, Al, you're always talking business.
Gotta be on my toes, honey, if you and I ever expect to settle down in that cozy little 30-room cottage.
Gee, Al, I'd just love to hear you talk like that. Come over here a minute, honey, and look in my eyes. What do you see?
Murine. Now, there's another great moneymaker. Wish I'd thought of that.
Al, I know how ambitious you are, but can't you forget business and be a little more romantic?
Well, I'd love to, kid, but in order to give you the good things in life, I gotta start thinking about this big deal I got brewing.
Oh, gee, Al, if your deal comes through, maybe you and I could settle down on a little ranch.
I can see it now. The egg and Irma.
Hiya, Janie. What's the good word?
Jane, Al's got a big deal on.
And what a deal. I just happened to line up no less than $100,000 worth of surplus Army goods.
Gee, Al, what kind of surplus are you going to sell?
Ripcords.
Ripcord?
This is a big deal. I got a pajama manufacturer lined up to take the whole lot of it. I even got an advertising gimmick with these ripcords. Listen to this. You get up in the morning and bail out of your pajamas. You like it, Jane?
I don't know how I ever lived this long without it.
And that ain't all. This is a big promotion. You take a 2-page ad in Life showing a picture of a beautiful girl ready to retire. And underneath, the caption...
Hit the silk.
Yeah. How'd you know?
It figures.
I think it's wonderful. What do you think, Jane?
You know, the whole thing has tired me out. I'm going back and take another shower.
You see, Chicken, I'm a beaten man. Jane doesn't believe in me.
Well, that's not true. Jane likes you, Al. She always takes 2 showers on Sunday.
I see. One for herself and one for those dirty looks she gives me.
And besides, Al, once you get to know Jane, you'll realize that her bark is worse than her tree.
You know, honey, I wouldn't say this to anybody else. But things are going so badly for me lately that I may be forced to do something desperate.
Al, you're going to get a job?
Irma, watch your language.
I'm sorry, Al. I only...
A job? Irma, supposing a man like me would consent to go to work, say, for a bank, at a small starting salary of $500 a week. Naturally, somebody like me moves fast. At the end of a year, I'm making $1,000 a week as a second vice president. In 2 years, I'm making $2,000 a week as a first vice president. In 10 years' time, I'm president of the bank and I got $100,000. Where do I go from there? I'm in a rut.
But, Al...
Irma, I'm in a rut now, and it didn't take me 10 years to get there. So you see how foolish it'd be for me to get a job. You understand, kid?
It's clear to me, Al.
It is? Well, I'm glad. You're a great girl and you deserve the best.
But I don't want the best. I want you, Al.
You know, the brakes have always been against me. It'd be different if I wasn't a practical man, but my deals are so sound. It's all a question of the brakes.
Gee, Al, I wish there was something I could do to help you.
Thanks, Chicken. But a guy like me with my ideas has got to mix with the right people. If I could only meet a man who's a millionaire.
Well, Al, suppose you met a millionaire who's got money besides.
Irma, what do you mean?
Well, Al, I'm throwing a dinner party tonight.
Dinner party?
Uh-huh. Yes, I've invited Jane's boss over. You know, the millionaire Richard Rhinelander III.
Richard Rhinelander III?
Yeah, she's crazy about him, and I thought an intimate gathering would bring them together socially, and financially it would bring the two of you together. So why don't you just surprise us and drop over casually after dinner and bring your ideas?
The millionaire Richard Rhinelander III. You know, Irma, if a guy like me with my ideas could meet a millionaire like Jane's boss, it'd be a natural combination.
Oh, wonderful, Al. It'll be perfect. I can kill you and Jane with one stone.
But won't Jane mind my coming?
No, it's a surprise party. She doesn't even know Richard Rhinelander's coming.
Thanks, baby. You're a genius. I'll be there.
Oh, before you go, Al, haven't you forgotten something?
Huh? Oh, yeah. What time does Rhinelander get here?
Irma, has Al left you?
Oh.
Just leave her now. So long, lady. See you later.
Honey, be careful going home. There's a crime wave on.
Yeah, Al, keep your hat turned down. You don't want to get picked up.
You fracture me. So long, Chicken. See you later.
We're having a dinner party?
Yes, I've invited your boss, Richard Rhinelander, to dinner tonight.
You invited my boss to dinner tonight? Here? Irma, how could you?
Oh, it was simple. He called up and asked to talk to you, and you were busy, so I invited him.
Oh, no. This is all a dream.
And after dinner, Al's going to drop over, and if Professor Kropotkin comes up, it'll be a wonderful party.
Oh, no, this is a nightmare. Give me that phone. Maybe it's not too late to stop him. Oh, dear. Hello? Hello, is Mr. Rhinelander there? He's not? Well, could you please tell me where he went? He left to go to a dinner party at a Miss Jane Stacy's. Thank you.
Jane, what are you doing?
Nothing. Just writing a suicide note.
And now the Sportsman with Lud Gluskin and his orchestra and their own special arrangement of...
Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. We're gonna leave you now. Merrily we roll along, roll along, roll along. Merrily we roll along o'er the deep blue sea. O'er the deep blue sea. Farewell, ladies. Goodbye.
Hello.
Good night, toodaloo. Farewell, ladies. Goodbye.
Hello.
Good night, toodaloo. Farewell, ladies. For we're gonna leave you now. Merrily, merrily we roll along. Merrily, merrily we roll along. Merrily, merrily we roll along o'er the deep blue sea. Merrily we roll along, roll along, roll along. Merrily we roll along o'er the deep blue. Merrily we roll along, roll along, roll along. Merrily we roll along o'er the deep. Merrily we roll along, roll along, roll along. Merrily we roll along o'er the. Merrily we roll along, roll along, roll along. Merrily we roll along o'er the deep, deep blue sea.
Richard Rhinelander III is coming to dinner. Now I'm really trapped because I told him that I lived in an artistic neighborhood and that my roommate was a budding novelist. How could I justify having him sit around with that scintillating duo of conversationalists, Irma and Al? Mr. Rhinelander is expecting an evening based on table talk a la Information, Please. What he's going to get is People Are Funny or It Pays to Be Ignorant. Well, finally, 7:30 rolled around. The bottle of martinis was catching a chill in the icebox, and I was running a fever in the living room. Richard would be arriving at any minute, and Irma wasn't ready. Irma, sweetie, it's 7:30.
I know, Jane. I'm just getting into my dress. How do you like it?
Don't you think you ought to get a little further into it?
Al likes this dress.
Al would, but Mr. Rhinelander wouldn't. Now, come on, huh? You've got just time to waltz this broom around a few times.
Okay.
Irma, huh? No, don't sweep the dirt under the rug. Man downstairs has been complaining.
Complaining?
Yeah, you know, that hole in the floor.
Jane, I have a wonderful idea. Why don't we take the rug off, and then with a hole in the ceiling, we'll have cross ventilation.
Oh. Irma, I'm so nervous.
Oh, don't worry. I'll handle everything. Haven't you confidence in me?
Well, certainly I have.
Well, then why are you shaking?
I always shake like this before I have a nervous breakdown. Now, Irma, let's not be nervous, huh? Let's just take it easy. Now, let's see. First, we serve the martinis, and then...
I don't have to drink a martini, do I, Jane?
What's that got to do with it?
I'd rather have milk.
Well, how can you drink milk when we're drinking martinis?
Oh, I know. I'll drink milk, but I'll put an olive in it.
Oh, Irma. He's here. Oh, he's here. Now listen to me, Irma. I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I've got confidence in you, and I know you'll do everything right, because if you don't, I think I'll kill myself and then you. Now, you ready? Okay. Irma, put the broom away. Come in.
I beg your pardon, but does Jane Stacy Oh, of course. Good evening, Jane. I didn't recognize you for a moment.
That's because you didn't take the curlers out of her hair.
How silly of me. Come in, Mr. Rhinelander. May I present my roommate, Irma?
How do you do?
Hello.
Irma, would you mind taking Mr. Rhinelander's hat?
I can't.
Why not?
His head is still in it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here it is.
Irma, now that you have Mr. Rhinelander's hat, would you mind taking the broom away from him?
Oh.
Irma, now that you have the broom, would you mind taking Mr. Rhinelander's hat away from him? Oh. Won't you sit down, Mr. Rhinelander?
Oh, thank you, Jane, but you don't have to be so formal. My friends always call me Richard.
Thank you. Cigarette, Richard?
Thank you.
Match, Richard?
Thank you.
Ashtray, Richard?
Thank you. Cigarette, Irma?
Thank you.
Match, Irma?
Thank you.
Ashtray, Irma?
No, thank you. I don't smoke.
You writers, you're all alike. Witty and eccentric.
Yes, I knew you'd like Irma's wit. It's so natural.
Yes, so I noticed. My, what a charming apartment you have here. When will the remodeling be finished?
Remodeling? Remodeling? This is it?
Yes, it's small. It's small, but our neighbors are so interesting. Artists, writers, musicians, you know. For instance, there's a very famous violinist who lives downstairs. He's Professor Kropotkin.
Kropotkin? Kropotkin?
Yeah, he plays in the Paradise Burlesque. Have you ever been there?
Well, I don't think so.
Well, it doesn't matter. You wouldn't have seen him anyway because he plays a violin under the runway.
Yes, a lot of our neighbors are eccentric, but they're all artistic.
Oh, I know what you mean. A charming environment.
Yes.
You know, it's hot in here. I think I'll open the window.
Hey, Mrs. Flanagan! Did you hear the news about Johnny O'Toole downstairs? Last night he come home roaring drunk and staggering up the stairs.
Shall we go in to dinner? If I live to be the oldest woman in the United States and Canada, I'll never forget that dinner. It started off with Irma taking from the right and serving from the left. She also did a little dropping in the middle. And Mr. Rhinelander looked very fetching wearing a hamburger over his right eye. Then we got to the desserts. And it seems that Irma had put the dessert in the wrong tray in the icebox. It was the first time I'd ever tasted cauliflower sherbet. So much for the food. The conversation was a monster in its own right. Richard said,
Fortunately, I've been able to travel considerably. Irma, do you like to travel?
And Irma said,
Oh, yes, it's really the only way to get any place.
Finally, it was over, and we decided to have our coffee in the living room.
Well, Jane, that was an excellent dinner.
Thank you.
Wonderful food.
That's nothing unusual. We always have food for dinner.
Oh, Irma, you have a priceless wit. Hasn't she, Jane?
She has? Oh, yes, she has.
You know, Mr. Rhinelander, I envy Jane working for you.
Yes, the investment business can be exciting, but, you know, I wish I had more time for sports.
Oh, you do love sports, don't you, Richard?
Yes, I don't like to brag or appear stuffy, but at college I won my letter in 6 different sports.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? And weren't you voted the best-looking man on the campus?
Oh, well, Jane, that was only kid stuff. But getting back to sports, since going into business with Dad, he sort of kept me hopping. You know how the office is, but, Jane, with you being the capable secretary you are, I've been able to find some time for squash and badminton at the athletic club.
Oh, well, personally, I love golf. It's such an exciting game, and yet it's so simple.
Yes, but you know, tennis has a dash of that same excitement.
I swim, ride horseback, play tennis, bowl, and shoot pool.
Irma, do you really do all those things?
No, but I have to keep up my end of the conversation.
More coffee, Richard?
No, thank you.
Well, I think you're wise. Coffee does keep one awake.
Yes, coffee does have that effect on me. How about you, Irma?
They've got an awful lot of coffee in Brazil.
Irma, we know you're in the conversation, dear. Just take it easy.
Well, okay, I think I'll open the window.
No, don't. No, Irma, the window. No.
And the next night Johnny O'Toole comes home again, roaring drunk, staggering up the stairs, carrying an arm like...
Chilly out tonight, isn't it, Richard?
Well, now let's get down to business. When are you two going to get married?
Irma! Oh, Richard, I really don't know what to say.
Well, Irma, really, I'm very fond of Jane, but of course you know there's my father.
Your father, let him get his own girl.
Oh, Irma. Oh, come in.
Hiya, folks.
Well, it's a Christ. Look, Jane, it's Al.
The next sound you hear is Jane Stacy blowing her brains out.
Al, I'd like you to meet Richard Rhinelander III. Richard, this is my boyfriend, Al.
How do you do?
Well, hiya, Richard. Heard a lot about you.
Richard, wouldn't you care to go to a movie or something?
Oh, no sense in breaking up the party. Let's sit around and chew the fat.
Richard's not hungry, Al. We just finished dinner.
Well, Rich, what's new on the street?
The street?
Yeah, you know, the exchange.
Oh, well, cotton was a little slow this past week.
Uh-huh. Knew it. What about steel?
It's a little off.
I know it. Richard, you can see for yourself the handwritings on the wall.
Really?
You got to get out of Wall Street.
I do?
Oh, absolutely. Sure, you could plug along, making $1 million here and $1 million there, but have you got security?
Well, Al, I'm pretty satisfied with the investment business, and I think there's a great future in it for me. Granddad was president, and then Father became president, and soon I'll be president.
You see what I mean, Irma?
Yeah, the whole family's in a rut.
But it's not too late, Rich. There's a place for you in my organization.
Richard, let's go to a movie.
No, Jane, let him talk. This whole thing may develop into a merger.
Merger, you're right, Irma. Richard, I'm going to make a big man out of you. How would you like to team up with me?
Well,
Now, listen to me, Richard.
Well-
Here's the plan. We've a chance to corner the market on surplus ripcords. We'll go out into the open market, buy short, sell long.
Jane, the evening's going just like I planned. The boys are in there getting along beautifully.
Beautifully. If Richard reaches for his wallet, he'll shake hands with Al.
Now, Jane.
Now, listen to me, Irma. You've ruined me. I should never have moved in with you.
But, Jane...
Don't but Jane me.
But I thought...
I don't care what you thought. You've ruined everything. Imagine his coming from his mansion on Park Avenue to this dump. Now, to top it off, your boyfriend Al is trying to sell him ripcord.
But, Jane, Al's only trying to fix it so he has security.
Irma, I've got news for you. Richard Rhinelander III has $5 million he hasn't even counted yet.
But after he counts it, what then? He'll be in a rut.
By inviting him to dinner tonight, you've just ruined me. Now, I'm going back in there, apologize, quit my job, and spend the night at the YWCA.
But, Jane, are you a member?
No, but I'll join. Another thing. The next time we meet on the street, I only want you to say one thing. Goodbye.
Will General Motors go for it? Richard, their tongues are hanging out for ripcord.
Well, Al,
Richard,
I really don't...
I mean, Mr. Rhinelander, I can't tell you how sorry I am.
Sorry? About what?
Oh, bringing you down here and having you meet people like Al and Irma.
Why, Jane, you've nothing to be sorry about. I'm delighted to have met two such real people as Al and Irma.
And we're delighted to have met a millionaire with money.
Oh, Irma, how could you?
Now, leave her alone, Jane. That's what I like about Irma now. They're so natural and honest.
Oh, Dickie, thank you for that vote of confidence.
I'm so happy for you, Mr. Rhinelander. Now you can have security.
You see, Jane...
You see, Richard, you were so wealthy and you live on Park Avenue and everything, and I thought your coming here, well, I tried to impress you, and I guess I've just been a fool. Well, I don't know what to say.
Well, I'd like to say thank you, Jane, for a splendid evening. I like your apartment, and I think Al and Irma are swell. And, Al, if you've got time, I want you to drop into the office, and maybe we can go into your ripcord proposition at length. Well, I've got to run along now. Goodbye, Jane, and please invite me again real soon.
Goodbye, Richard.
Well, gotta run now.
Where are you going, honey?
Where am I going? Now I gotta see where I can get hold of some ripcord.
That's my friend Al.
And that's my friend Irma.
My Friend Irma was written and directed by Cy Howard. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. The Columbia Broadcasting System presents a new comedy.
My Friend Irma.
Starring Marie Wilson as Irma and Kathy Lewis as Jane, with John Brown as Al.
Friendship, friendship, just a perfect friendship. When other friendships have been forgot, there will still be my friend Irma.
You know, friendship is a thing that's been around all through the ages. Like measles. Measles you can get rid of, but not my friend Irma. Do you know something? I never want to get rid of Irma because I sincerely love that girl. So I'm going to continue to live with her through thick and thin, although at times it's trying. Now, take, for example, when I was trying to straighten out our finances and fix up a budget for us. Naturally, I had to ask Irma a few simple questions. So I said, Irma, honey, how much money did you save last January?
None.
Well, that's silly. You worked all month. How come?
I bought a fur trim coat.
Well, how about February?
I was still paying for the coat.
In March?
I didn't pay for the coat in March.
April?
In April, I paid a lawyer for getting me out of trouble for not paying for the coat in March.
Now, honey, please be serious. We've got to work on a budget so that we won't be in the position we were in last year of having to use up all our savings in order to pay our taxes.
Jane, we won't have to pay taxes this year.
Why not?
Because my boyfriend Al says income taxes are fat and it's sure to blow over.
Al said that?
Yes, and that's why he's not going to pay any this year. Instead, he's going to use the money to buy himself a new suit.
Irma, I got news for you. If Al doesn't pay his taxes, the government will supply him with a new suit. With stripes.
Well, I hope there'll be pinstripes. Al looks so cute in them.
Well, honey, you forget Al. You know, there are other guys in this world besides Al.
Oh, I know, Jane, and one of the boys at the office sort of has an eye on me.
Really?
So I told him I like him, but my heart belongs to Al. But that didn't discourage him.
Why not?
He said he loved me for my mind.
Believe me, Al's got a better deal. Now, listen, Irma, my boss, Richard Rhinelander's coming over later to take me out, so let me get together the rent money to pay Mrs. O'Reilly, the landlady. Huh? Now, what have we got in our cookie jar?
3 graham crackers and 32 cents.
Oh, well, I guess it must be in the sugar bowl. Yeah, here it is, 10, 20, 30, and I'll take $10 from my purse and $10 from your purse, and that'll be an even $50 to pay the rent with. And that's all the money we have in the world.
Jane, why must we take all our money and give it to Mrs. O'Reilly?
Well, because she's our landlady and she happens to own the building.
Well, if she already owns the building, what does she need our money for?
She needs it for overhead.
Well, it's a good thing to need it for. Our ceiling's been leaking for months.
Well, any way you look at it, we have to give her the money. Now, look, honey, if she comes up and I happen to be busy dressing, you pay her the $50 and be sure to get a receipt. You think you can handle that?
Certainly, Jane. What do you think I am? Dumb?
Irma, I'm kind of sorry you asked me that.
Why?
I might have to answer it.
Ooh. Jane, do you hear someone knocking?
Yes, let's open the door. It might be someone we'd like to know.
Oh, no, we've got all the friends we need.
Oh, well, what's the use? Come in.
Hiya, chicken. Hello, Janie.
Oh, look, Jane, it's Al.
Yes, I know. The change purse in my pocketbook is quivering.
You know, Jane, it's lucky for you I'm not sensitive, or I wouldn't let you in on this big deal I got going.
Before you tell me about any new big deal, genius, what happened to the money we gave you to help finance that new washing machine invention?
Oh, that's going to be the biggest thing in the country. Do you realize it dries clothes, presses them, and sews buttons on shirts?
What about washing the shirts?
When we solve that, we got the whole problem licked.
Al, have you ever wondered why I keep picking on you?
No, Janie. But now that you brought it up, why do you?
Well, I sort of got a theory that everybody in this world should have some kind of steady employment. That seems strange to you?
Oh, I believe in it myself. That's why you are now looking at the manager of the next heavyweight champion of the world.
Who is he, Al?
Tiger McGurk. Girls, I'm telling you, the minute I laid eyes on the Tiger, I knew he was a champ. You see, I'm in this tavern over on 3rd Avenue, see? And I noticed the Tiger working there serving drinks. Well, suddenly there was a commotion because some no-good phony wouldn't pay for his beer. And the Tiger rushed in and threw the bum out on the sidewalk.
Gee, Al, did he hurt you?
Chicken. Now, girls, I can enter Tiger McGurk at the Elks Club in the preliminaries. And all I need is a little capital.
Goodbye, Al. Your story has touched me. But you won't.
Oh, look, Jane, honey, am I the type of a guy...
I don't know what you're going to say, but you're the type.
But why are we standing here gabbing? By an odd coincidence, I just happen to have the Tiger right outside. I'll have him in, and you can look him over yourself.
Oh, now, just a minute, Al. We don't want any prize fighters in here. This is not an annex of Stillman's gym.
Oh, he won't bother you. He'll just come in and walk around quietly on his heels.
Sure, Jane. Let him come in. You're making a mole out of a groundhog.
Okay, you will now meet the one and only Tiger McGurk. I'll just whistle.
If he answers that, his name ought to be Lassie McGurk.
You called me, boss. I run all the way up the steps.
Girls, this is the Tiger.
The tiger? From the pouch on him, he looks more like a kangaroo.
I'm pleased to make your acquaintance, Mr. Tiger.
Thanks, lady. Hey, boss, I'm hungry.
I told you mustn't eat before the fight.
Yeah, but 3 days before?
Jane, I think he's cute.
And I think we've seen enough. Al, will you please tell the tiger to peddle his muscles elsewhere?
Oh, now, wait a minute, Jane. He's just getting started. Tiger, would you like to skip a little rope for the girl?
Okay, boss.
Oh, I'll take my nylons off the clothesline, Mr. Tiger, and you can use that.
No, Irma, no. Mr. McGurk, please. This is not the place to... No. You're shaking the whole building.
Get a load of that floor.
No, please. Mrs. O'Reilly, our landlady. Please. Mrs. O'Reilly, our landlady, lives downstairs. You'll crack her ceiling. Well, stop it.
Okay.
What in the name of heaven's going on up there?
Oh, dear. We're sorry we disturbed you, Mrs. O'Reilly.
Disturbed was it now? You realize the ceiling just came down, plaster and all on me poor husband.
Oh, dear. Was he hurt?
No, but it's the first time he's ever been plastered on the outside.
Well, we won't let it happen again, Mrs. O'Reilly.
Well, you'd better not. Now stop your moaning, dearie. I'll be digging you out in a minute. Girls, today's the first of the month. I'll be up for me rent later.
Oh, we've got it for you, Mrs. O'Reilly. Al, will you and Tiger McGurk please get lost?
Tiger, go down and run around the block a couple of times. I want to talk to the girls. Private.
Gotcha, boss. Well, so long, lady. See you later.
Good luck tonight, champ.
Bye.
Well, girls, what do you say? You want to back the Tiger and hop on the bandwagon?
No, I think we'll hitchhike and stay honest.
Okay, you had your chance. I withdraw my offer.
It's accepted. Irma, sweetie, I'm going to go down to the drugstore to buy some of that special perfume that Richard likes, you know. And now, if Mrs. O'Reilly comes up while I'm gone, here's the $50 rent money for her, and you be sure to get a receipt. You think you can handle it?
Certainly, Jane. Jane?
Yes?
Why don't we give Al the money for the Tiger? He looks like a sure thing to me.
Oh, honey, we just made out a budget which leaves no surplus for stray fighters that Al manages.
Yes, but Jane, what if he turns out to be another John L. Dempsey?
Irma, are you really dumb or are you just acting stupid?
I've got you over a barrel, haven't I?
Why did I ever leave Wyoming?
Wyoming? Isn't that silly? You know, Jane told me she was born in West Dakota. Oh, honey, I'm awful sorry. I really did my best.
I know, chicken, but that's just me. Hard luck, Al. Here I got a chance to clean up on the Tiger, and I can't get a break.
Gee, Al, I wish there was something I could do.
Oh, you tried your best, kid. But you know, Irma, I don't really care about the money for myself. It's you I was thinking about.
Gee, Al, you're so sweet.
You see, I figured that if the Tiger could win a couple of fights, it might be possible for you and I to walk down that middle aisle.
Together?
If you want it that way. But, chicken, since we couldn't persuade Jane to give me the money, I can't enter the Tiger in the fight tonight. So I guess we'll have to postpone our marriage for about 10 years.
Gee, Al, I wish I had some extra money. You see, the only money I've got is this $50 rent money, but I've got to give it to that Mrs. O'Reilly. Oh, I'm so sorry, Al.
Don't let it bother you, kid. I understand. You know, Irma, that's just one of life's funny twists. Here you are giving $50 to a dame who's got a house and don't need the dough, and here $50 would solve all of our problems and make all our dreams come true.
Al, I have an idea. If I took the $50 Jane gave me and gave it to Miss O'Reilly and gave it to...
No, thanks, chicken. I couldn't take it. But keep talking.
Well, don't you see, Al? If the Tiger's such a cinch to win, you could return the money right after the fight. I'd pay our rent, and Jane won't have to know anything about it. Here, Al, honey, take the money.
No, kid, you might get in trouble with Jane.
Oh, she'll never know. Take it, Al.
Okay, Irma. Gee, you're wonderful. And believe me, you'll never lose by this.
Oh, I know, Al. I've got confidence in you. But just tell me one thing. Is the Tiger really a great fighter?
Chicken, why do you think Joe Louis took up golf?
And now it's the Sportsman's Quartet with Lud Gluskin and his orchestra and their own special arrangement of Nellie Bly.
Hi, Nellie, ho, ho, Nellie. Listen, lady, love to me, to me. I will play and sing for you the sweetest melody. Oh, Nellie, won't you listen while I sing to thee? Nellie Bly, bring the broom along. We'll sweep the kitchen clean, my dear, and have a little song. Oh, Nellie has a voice
Like a turtle dove,
and when she sings so pretty like
my heart just thrills with love.
drip, 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 hi, hi, Nellie, ho, ho, Nellie. Listen, lady, love to me, to me. I will play and sing for you the sweetest melody. Oh, Nellie, won't you listen while I play for thee? Hi, hi, Nellie. Hi, ho, hi, hi, ho. Hi, hi, Nellie. Hi, ho, hi, hi, ho. Nellie Bly has a light in the corner of her eye, and though it makes me so sometimes, my mind to hear the hoot, Nellie. Hi, hi, Nellie, ho, ho, Nellie. Listen, lady, love to me, to me. I will always love you till the day I die. Oh, sweet, sweet Nellie Bly.
Hey, for you, kid.
Hi, ho, Nellie. Hi, ho.
Well, having finished making out our budget and paying our rent, I felt pretty secure. Just to play safe, I said, Irma, honey, did you take care of the rent money?
Yes, Jane, I took care of it.
So, financially, I was sailing on a cloud. And romantically, I was higher than a cloud because tonight I was going to go out with my dream man, Richard Rhinelander. He was due in a few minutes, so I decided to fill up the time by doing a little daydreaming, which appeals to me because it's the one thing that Irma can't complicate. Now I'm dreaming that I'm Mrs. Richard Rhinelander III, and we're honeymooning on the beautiful French Riviera. Soft lights, dreamy music. As we walk along under the stars, Richard takes me in his arms and says,
Jane, should I empty the garbage now?
That's Irma, jerking me back to reality. You know, I'm not even safe from that girl in a dream. Irma, what is it you want to know?
Well, should I empty the garbage now?
Irma, do you realize that I have just left the Riviera to talk to you?
The Riviera?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was wonderful. Wouldn't you like to take a trip around the world?
Oh, no, Jane. There's too many other places I'd like to see first.
Well, we started tidying up the apartment for Richard, and while I was busy sweeping the dust from under the rug where Irma had swept it, I noticed that Irma was vacuuming in the hall. I said, Irma, why are you vacuuming in the hall? And she said,
Well, I've finished in the apartment and the dust bag isn't full yet.
You know, it's amazing that a vacuum cleaner, which in most people's hands is merely a household gadget, in Irma's hands becomes a deadly weapon.
Jane,
Yeah?
I've got everything fixed up real nice for Richard's arrival. I put candy in the candy bowl. I put cologne on the paper flowers so they'd smell nice. And I've done something especially for you.
You did? What?
I loosened the bulb in the lamp.
Why?
So that when you and Richard are sitting on the couch, all you have to do is nudge it with your elbow and the light will go out.
Oh, listen, honey. I appreciate what you're trying to do for Richard and me, but, sweetie, if you really want to do me a favor, please be careful what you say to him, huh?
I will.
You know, he'll be real proud that I managed to fix up a budget for us because Richard, even though he's a millionaire, he believes in things like a penny saved is a penny earned.
That's cute. I know one, too. Early to bed and early to rise makes me healthy, wealthy, and sleepy. Now, you give one to me.
Irma, I'm not playing games. I'm merely giving quotations that Richard and his father believe in. Business principles like never put off until tomorrow what you can do today.
Well, that's where they're wrong. I always put off until tomorrow what should be done today.
You do?
Yeah, I make a lot of overtime that way.
Well, don't let Richard hear you say that, huh? He might not understand.
Oh, excuse me. All right, Jane.
What's the matter with you, Irma? What are you so nervous about?
Oh, I'm not nervous. Just wish Al would telephone and tell me if the Tiger won.
Oh, who cares if he wins or loses? We didn't invest any money in him.
Well, I feel almost as if we had.
Oh, you wanted to, didn't you? But I wouldn't let you. Imagine Al. Imagine him trying to line up a sucker to back that broken-down fighter. Isn't that silly?
Yes.
You needn't get hysterical. It's not the most attractive side of you, you know.
Gee, I'm as nervous as a cat about to have puppies.
Well, take it easy, honey. We haven't got a worry in the world.
Yeah, you haven't a worry in the world. Jane.
Yeah?
Even though there's nothing to worry about, promise me we'll always be friends.
Oh, honey. Sure we will. I may be stern with you at times, and I just hate myself for it, honest, but believe me, there's nothing that can ever break up our friendship.
Don't worry, I'll think of something.
Come in. Hello, Richard.
Oh, hello, Jane. Irma, nice seeing you.
Won't you sit down, Richard?
Oh, thank you, Jane. Well, now, what have you girls been doing with yourself?
Oh, well, I just finished putting Irma and me on a budget.
Splendid. Splendid. I think being on a budget is a smart, economical move. I admire you, Jane, for having such a well-developed sense of financial responsibility. Few girls have.
Thank you, Richard.
Yes, Dad and I have often discussed financial discipline at our board meetings. We feel that paying one's bills, taxes, or otherwise can help to combat inflation.
Yes, indeed.
You know the new fiscal year of 1947 has a great potential in the direction of economic upheaval. Unless consumer goods stabilize the country, will have to be continued on page 19.
Irma, what is that?
I don't know. I never turned to page 19.
Well, it's getting late, isn't it? I think I'll get my hat, and then we'll be off, Richard.
Oh, fine, Jane. Well, Irma, you seem a bit preoccupied tonight.
Well, I'm worried about Al and Tiger McGurk. Al should have phoned by now.
Al?
Yes, you remember Al, my boyfriend? Well, he's managing a fighter, and there's a fight tonight, and, well, a lot depends on it.
Well, I must say that Al of yours is a very enterprising young man.
Oh, sure, last year he had a racehorse.
Is that so?
Yes, he even had an invention that went with the horse.
An invention?
Yes, it was an electric circuit with live wires that went under the horse's saddle to make him run faster.
Well, that's unusual.
Yes, but something went wrong. The horse won the race, but the jockey was electrocuted.
And now your Al has a prize fighter.
Yeah. And can you imagine, Richard, he tried to get Irma and me to back him, but I refused. I said that we'd made a budget and we'd stick to it. Well, come on, Richard. We don't want to be late for the movie. Irma, honey, why don't you come with us?
No, thanks, Jane. I have to wait here for Al so he can tell me how the tiger makes out.
Oh, forget the tiger. You act like you had money on him.
Yeah, don't I?
Come on, sweetie. Come on to the movie with Richard and myself. You'll like the picture. It's The Guilt of Janet Ames.
Thanks, Jane. I'll stay here with the guilt of Irma Peterson.
Goodbye, Irma.
Goodbye, honey. I'm sorry you're not coming with us. We'll see you later.
Oh, gee, I'm so nervous. I hope Al comes back before Mrs. O'Reilly comes for the rent. Well, that must be Al now. Come in, Al. Oh, it's you, Mrs. O'Reilly. Well, what can I do for you?
Well, Irma, I just finished reading my horoscope. Jupiter's in direct vertigo with Saturn. And Sagittarius is just in back of Capricorn, leaving Aries near Pluto.
Oh, what does all that mean?
The rent is due.
Oh, is it rent day already? Well, it seems only yesterday that we paid you for last month.
It was yesterday, dearie. You were 30 days late. And now if I can have me $50, I'll be going.
Well, now, don't be in such a hurry, Mrs. O'Reilly. Now, come in and we'll chat a little.
Well, I don't mind if I do, Irma. I've got a sort of a soft spot in my heart for you two girls.
Well, what's new, Mrs. O'Reilly?
Well, Mrs. O'Malley had twins last night, and her husband... Now, just a minute there. You're getting me off the subject.
Oh, I wouldn't think of doing that. Were they happy having twins?
Indeed not. They got too many mouths to feed as it is.
Oh, really, Mrs. O'Reilly? How many children do they have?
Oh, now let me see. There's Timothy, Patrick, Terence, and Dennis.
Care for some tea?
Yes, thank you. Robert, Thomas, Michael, and little Danny.
Sugar with the tea?
Yes, and a bit of lemon. And then there was little Joseph, Phoebe, Kevin, and Philip.
She has quite a large family.
And then there's the girls. There's Mary and Maggie and Kathy. Those are the twins. They were all born under the sign of Capricorn.
Oh, what's the sign of Capricorn mean?
Oh, that's the horn of plenty. Well, Irma, if you'll just give me the rent, I'll be on my way.
Well, Mrs. O'Reilly, there's something on my unconscious that I must get off. I gave the rent money to my boyfriend Al to bet on the Tiger, a prize fighter.
Now, did you now?
So, could you please wait until after the fight for your money?
Oh, now, wait a minute. Why should I be waiting for me money when you've got a wallet chock full of money lying on the table there?
Wallet? Money? Oh, gee, gosh, Mr. Rhinelander must have forgotten it.
Well, now, isn't that convenient? Now, let me see. He has here, let's see, 10, 20... Oh, $150. Now, if you'll just allow me to take $50 out of the wallet, we'll call the rent settled.
Oh, stop, Mrs. O'Reilly. The money doesn't belong to me.
Oh, come now, dearie. You're merely letting me borrow the money until after the fight.
But that's stealing.
Well, not if you put it back. Now, don't worry. Just say to yourself, I'm not a criminal. I'm not a criminal.
I'm not a criminal. I'm not a criminal.
Fine. You just keep saying that. And thanks for the rent. Goodbye, dearie.
I'm not a criminal. I'm not a criminal. Oh, but I am a criminal because it wasn't my money. It was Richard's wallet. Gosh, I'm sorry I let Mrs. O'Reilly take the money. It wasn't honest. Gee, I'm a criminal. I'm a criminal.
Hi, Irma.
Jane, I'm not a criminal. I'm not a criminal.
Irma, what are you mumbling about?
Oh, nothing. Hello, Jane and Richard. What are you doing back here?
Well, Irma, the funniest thing happened. When I went up to the box office to pay for the tickets, I found I didn't have
any money.
How did you know?
Oh, Al always pulls that one on me.
Irma, darling, what Richard means is that he might have left his wallet here in the apartment. Did you happen to see it?
I'm not a criminal. I'm not a criminal.
No one's accusing you, honey. I just want to know if you saw the wallet.
Well, Jane, let's forget about it. If Irma didn't see it, maybe I didn't leave it here after all.
Well, all right. Irma, if you should run across it, let me describe it to you. It was a brown pigskin wallet with the name Richard Rhinelander on it. RICHARD-RHI.
Oh, you don't have to spell in front of me. I'm old enough to understand things now.
Well, Irma, you didn't see it, did you?
Irma? Why don't you answer, Richard? Did you see it? Irma, this is ridiculous. Answer yes or no. And our friendship depends on it.
Yes.
Yes, what?
That's my answer. You just fill in the question.
Please, Jane,
Now, you let me handle this, Richard. Irma, did you see Richard's wallet?
Come in.
Hiya, folks. Hello there, chicken.
Oh, Al, how was the fight? Did the Tiger win?
No, chicken. But you'd have been proud of him. He established a new world's record. 3.5 seconds of the first round.
You mean he was knocked out in 3.5 seconds?
No, he was back in the shower.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
You're sorry.
Getting back to our little discussion, Irma, I'd like to find out what happened.
Well, I'll be with you in a minute, Jane. I want to see Al in private first. Would you excuse me? Come on, Al.
What's up, chicken?
Al, promise me you'll write to me. And wait for me.
Well, what do you mean? What are you talking about?
Well, Al, after I gave you the money, Richard left his wallet here, and I took $50 from it to replace the rent money that I gave you to bet on the Tiger.
So?
So Jane and Richard are back looking for his wallet, and I have it here, and I have to give it to him, and they'll find the money missing. Oh, Al, I'm a criminal. I'm a criminal.
Oh, honey, you're not a criminal.
No, I tried saying that. It doesn't work.
Look, honey, if that's all you're worrying about, forget it. Your Al will always take care of his little Irma. Here's the $50 to put back in the wallet, and here's 10 more for your share of the winnings.
But, Al, where'd you get the money the Tiger lost?
Well, what do you think? I bet him to win? I bet against the bum.
But, Al, how could you be so sure he'd lose?
Kid, a guy don't win who hasn't eaten for 3 days and runs around the block twice just before the fight and don't have no talent to start with.
Gee, Al, you're a genius. Mr. Rhinelander, did your wallet have a zipper on it?
Yes?
Irma, if you're going to say leave your name and address, and if anything turns up, we'll write to you. I just don't know what I'll do.
No, I just want to know if Richard's wallet has a zipper on it.
Well, yes, it does.
Then this one must be yours. Here it is.
Oh, yes, that's mine, Irma, but...
Irma, why didn't you give it to him before?
Well, you didn't say anything about a zipper, and you have to be plenty careful these days.
Why, that's odd.
What's the matter, Richard?
Well, Jane, I had $150 in my wallet, and now I have $160. Where did that extra $10 bill come from?
Well, don't you get interest on all your loans?
So we left to go to the movie, the four of us. And all through the picture, I kept thinking, what is the connection between Richard's wallet and Irma? So when we got home that night and were drinking our chocolate before going to bed, I said, Irma, what about Richard's wallet? And Irma said,
I'm not a criminal. I'm not a criminal.
Well, that's my friend Irma.
My Friend Irma was written and directed by Cy Howard. How would you like to sign up for security for a ticket to the kind of tomorrow you've always dreamed about? You can do that if you invest your money today in United States savings bonds. Money saved today in savings bonds will bring you a return of $4 for every $3 you invest when the bonds mature in 10 years. Buy United States savings bonds and enjoy the tomorrow you've been dreaming about. Remember, next week, instead of dialing your telephone to listen to your best friend, dial your radio to this same Columbia station, same time to listen to
My Friend Irma.
Starring Murray Wilson as Irma and Kathy Lewis as Jane, with John Brown as Al and George Neese as Richard Rhinelander. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Columbia Broadcasting System presents a new comedy.
My Friend Irma.
Starring Murray Wilson as Irma and Kathy Lewis as Jane, with John Brown as Al and Leif Erikson as Richard.
Friendship, friendship, just a perfect friendship. When other friendships have been forgot, theirs will still be hot. My friend Irma.
that opposites attract. And I live with an opposite, my friend Irma. Now, don't get me wrong, I love that girl, but where Irma is concerned, the question is, how far can the opposite go? Like the time we went to the movies, and right in the middle of the show, I noticed Irma reading. Irma, I said, why are you reading instead of looking at the screen? And she said,
well, everybody tells me the book is better than the picture.
But who am I to complain? Irma gets along with everybody, even her boss.
John J. Clyde, attorney at law. Miss Peterson speaking. Oh, he's busy on the other phone, but I'll give him the message. Yes, important, urgent, matter of life and death. Oh, yes, I've got it all down. I'll tell him immediately. Gee, I got it all down except for one thing. I should have asked who it was. Oh, well, all in a day's work. There'll be other calls. And now to finish this dictation. Dear Miss Irma Peterson. Isn't that strange? Someone with a name just like mine. This is to inform you that you are fired. Oh, that poor Miss Peterson.
Miss Peterson?
Yes, Mr. Clyde.
You read that letter? You're fired.
Me?
Yes, you.
But the letter said, Dear Miss Peterson. You never called me dear before. It just shows you the minute you let the boss get familiar with you, you're out of a job.
Miss Peterson, will you please go?
All right, but I don't think it's fair.
Fair. Miss Peterson, for the life of me, I don't know what goes on in that head of yours when I give you legal dictation.
Was something wrong?
Wrong? Why, if I hadn't checked the last batch of letters you typed, Senator Adams would be lobbying in Reno with Mrs. Park, and I would be suing President Truman for a divorce. Now get out. You're through. You're fired.
Then there's no hope for a raise?
Raise, Miss Peterson, will you please go?
Oh, all right, but don't think I'm worried about losing my job. You see, I don't have to work. I have a roommate who will take care of me because she's got a steady job and works for her boyfriend, so she can never get fired.
Richard Rhinelander Investments, Miss Stacy speaking. Yes, I'll check on it immediately. Richard, Mr. Gerard just called.
Forget Mr. Gerard, Jane. Say, what's this nonsense about you resigning from your job?
Well, Richard, I think my letter of resignation speaks for itself.
But why?
Richard, I've come to the conclusion that it's better to be the boss's wife and worry about the secretary than be the secretary and worry about being the boss's wife.
Jane, our personal life has nothing to do with our business relationship.
Richard, I'm sorry. In this case, it does. In fact, your entire office force is getting a new occupational disease. Keyhole squat and transomitis. Every time I come out of your office, somebody's either standing up or getting down.
That's just idle office gossip.
Well, it's embarrassing both to me and to you, and it's bound to reach the ears of your father, Richard, so I quit.
But how will you make a living, Jane?
Well, fortunately, Irma has a good, steady job. She'll take care of me like another one. Well, 6 o'clock came, and I said goodbye to Richard. I went home feeling pretty low, but not as low as I might have felt if Mr. Phillips in the office across the hall hadn't stopped me. He gave me some extra work that I could do for him at home. Won't keep me in stables, but at least I won't be a burden on Irma. In fact, I don't think I'll even tell her. I'll just get my old typewriter from the closet and I'll start working tonight.
Jane? Oh, she's not home yet. Well, that's good. I won't tell her I lost my job until I've had a chance to talk it over with Al. He always knows the right thing to do.
Oh, hello, Irma.
Hi, Jane.
How'd things go today at the office, Irma?
Pretty good. How'd things go with you, Jane?
Pretty good. What's new with you?
Nothing. What's new with you?
Nothing. As long as we're speaking about nothing, where's Al? I haven't seen him for quite a while.
Oh, Al's working. He's got a job.
Al's working? When did he start?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Well, why hasn't he been around?
Well, he's been staying in bed all week preparing for it.
Al working. You know the age of miracles has come to pass. Honey, I'm going to go down to the drugstore for a minute, and by the way, I may keep you up late tonight because I'm going to do some extra work.
Well, Jane, I wouldn't do that. You know the old saying, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. And Richard would be jealous if he found out about Jack.
Huh? Well, I'll keep it a secret.
Gee, now that Al has a job, maybe he'll accept my proposal. Come in?
Hiya, chicken.
Oh, hello, Al. I didn't expect you so early.
I had to get out of bed. The landlady wanted to change the linen.
Al, how's your new job working out?
Perfect. I quit.
But you haven't started yet.
Honey, I've been thinking it over. I go to work, right? Somebody has to pack my lunch, so I marry you. They work me like a dog. I come home, I'm irritable. We quarrel, then we fight. First thing you know, we're throwing things at each other. Finally, you get hit, you fall to the floor crying. No, Irma, no. For a little thing like a job, it ain't worth it to make you miserable.
Gee, Al, you're a real gentleman. Any other fellow would take the job and make me miserable.
Well, I'm glad you see it my way, kid.
Oh, I do, Al. Gee, it's a small world, isn't it?
What do you mean it's a small world?
Oh, the day before you quit your job, I get fired.
Fired? What happened, chicken? Did the boss get fresh?
Oh, no, Al. Everything between us was strictly Potomac.
Chicken, this is a problem. We got to find the answer.
Well, the important thing to me, Al, is not to be a burden to Jane.
Honey, I know exactly how you feel. All we got to do is promote some ready capital for you.
Well, gee, Al, how do you do that?
Well, there are several ways. You can go to the bank and borrow on your collateral, or you can take the collateral right to a hock shop and cut out the middleman.
Gee, pawn things?
Uh-huh. Now, what have you got of value that could get you ready money?
Well, the only expensive things I own are the ones you've given me. Like that plaster statue of Venus de Milo with a clock in her stomach. I'd hate to part with that, though, because you said it was imported.
Oh, certainly it was imported, honey. Because don't you remember when I gave it to you, I told you it was plaster of Paris? Came from France, you know. But that's too sentimental. What else?
Well, of course, Al, if it's necessary, there's that 10-carat diamond ring you gave me. You said that was worth thousands.
Well, honey, I bought at the peak. The way the diamond market has collapsed today, we'd be lucky to get $1 for it.
Well, there's my red silk World's Fair pillow.
Nothing.
Half a mahjong set.
Half of nothing.
Jane's typewriter.
Hold it, chicken. You don't have to go any further. You got a gold mine there. We'll pawn the typewriter.
But, Al, do you think we'd be doing the right thing pawning Jane's typewriter?
Chicken, that's finance. You got to take chances. How do you think the rich get rich?
They buy everything wholesale.
No, honey. They invest their money and make it work for them. Give me the phone.
Well, who are you going to call?
Who am I going to call? The one man who can make us rich. Joe. Hello, Joe? Al. Why didn't I call you? I was considering a job. All right, Joe, stop yelling. I've seen the error of my ways. Joe, gonna pawn a typewriter. We'll have some ready cash. What do you have that's a good investment? The Brooklyn Bridge. No, Joe. This is for personal friends. Sounds like a big deal. I'll be right over and bring the dough.
Well, I finished my shopping, bought my typewriter ribbon, and when I get back to the apartment, I'm going to take a nice warm bath and get down to work. And since it looks as if I'll be able to pay my own way, I might as well tell Irma about losing my job. So I told her, and she said, "Huh?" "Yes, honey. Why should you seem so startled at the news? Gee, I hope you don't think I'll be a burden on you just because I haven't got a steady job."
Oh, no, Jane, you're my friend. You can share my clothes and my perfume, and if you want, you can even share Al with me.
Don't overdo it, kid.
Oh, Jane, I don't want you to worry about losing your job. Relax. You can lean on me like the Rock of Gibraltar.
Thanks, honey. I appreciate it.
Oh, I know you do, because I know what it means to a girl to know she's living with a rock.
Thank you, sweetie, but you won't have to share the entire burden, because tonight I'm getting out my old typewriter and start working to pay my share. By the way, where's the typewriter?
Huh?
The typewriter. You know the one. Oh, I know. It's in the closet. Well, I guess I'll go and take my bath. Later I'm going to type. Honey, would you mind getting the typewriter out for me and putting in the ribbon?
Huh?
Irma, I'm only mentioning the fact that I want to use the typewriter, and you keep saying, huh? Why these huhs?
Huh?
Well, it's been a privilege to sit in on this conversation. If you'll excuse me, I think I'll go and take a bath.
Oh, Jane, honey, be careful and try not to splash any water on the floor. It's still dinner time, and the man downstairs may be eating dinner.
Okay. Okay, I'll take it easy. Now, come in.
Hiya, chickens.
Jane's taking a bath.
Again? That day makes up holidays.
Oh, Al, something terrible has happened. Jane's out of work.
This is disgusting. What kind of people am I mingling with?
Well, but something else terrible has happened. Jane needs the typewriter.
When?
Well, she's going to want to use it right after she finishes her bath.
Oh, well, don't worry, baby. Saw Joe. Gave him the cash I got from pulling the typewriter to invest. The money's working for us. All we got to do is sit here so that when Jane comes out of the bathroom, we can tell her she's wealthy. That must be Joe with the good news. Honey, stretch out your arms. I want to measure you for a mink coat. Hello? Oh, Joe. What's the good word? Need bail? Joe, what happened? Cops broke up the game. Joe, listen. Oh, you can't talk? They're taking it all down. Understand. By the way, remember, if they ask, you never saw me before. So long.
Well, Al, what happened? What happened to Joe?
Wait till I take off my hat and bow my head, and I'll tell you.
Well, what is it, Al?
Chicken, as it must come to all men, the sheriff came to Joe.
And now it's the King's Men with Lud Gluskin and his orchestra and their arrangement of Little Liza Jane.
I got a gal and you got none, Little Liza Jane. I got a gal and you got none, Little Liza Jane. She's so pretty, I do declare, Little Liza Jane. With big brown eyes and wavy hair, Little Liza Jane. Oh, Little Liza, Little Liza Jane. Oh, Little Liza, Little Liza Jane. Come, my love, and marry me. Little Liza Jane. See how happy we will be. My Little Liza Jane. I'll go buy a wedding ring. Little Liza Jane. We'll be married in the spring. My Little Liza Jane. Oh, Little Liza, little old Liza Jane. Oh, Little Liza, little Liza Jane. Then one day in the middle of May, Little Liza Jane, away she ran with a traveling man who stole my Liza Jane. Oh, Little Liza, when I heard the news, oh, Little Liza, I got the blues. And the blues so awful bad, I jumped aboard a train, made up my mind to try to find my Little Liza Jane. Way down south in Tennessee, I got off the train. Who was waiting there for me but Little Liza Jane? Oh, Little Liza, Little Liza Jane. Oh, Little Liza, Little Liza Jane. Took my honey by the hand, got back on the train, stole her from the traveling man, sweet, sweet Liza. Now we live in Baltimore, me and Liza Jane. Lots of chillin' round the door, just like Liza. Liza Jane, Liza, Liza, how I love my Liza Jane.
Well, it was 8 o'clock, and I decided that if I wanted to make any headway, I'd better get started with my typing. As I entered the room, Irma was reading last week's newspaper. Irma likes to read old newspapers. That way she can always predict what's already happened. I noticed that there was something different about the room. The sofa on which Irma had draped herself had been moved directly in front of the closet door in which I kept my typewriter. I said, Irma?
Yes, Jane?
Why'd you move the sofa?
The sofa?
Think fast, Irma.
Well, I don't want the sofa in front of the piano. I don't want the sofa in front of the phone because I don't like people talking behind my back.
Irma, you didn't move the sofa in front of the closet because there's something in there you don't want me to see.
Oh, that isn't the reason. It's because there's something in that closet I don't want you to see that isn't there.
Now, just let me think calmly. This is the first time in 6 months that I've wanted to use the typewriter. So what is the most logical thing to expect? Irma, where did Al pawn the typewriter?
Why, Jane Stacy, how can you say that? Where did Al pawn the typewriter? Al has pride. You know he'd never tell me.
So you let him take the one thing that I depended upon to see me through this crisis.
Well, don't say the one thing. Al considered everything. I was even willing to pawn the genuine pearl necklace he gave me.
Why didn't you?
Well, you know, when you take it out of the icebox, it melts.
Okay, Irma, okay. I was afraid of being a burden to you, but now that you've taken the tools of my trade away from me, I'm not going to get another job. I'm just going to let you support me. Irma, you can work for two.
Jane, I can't even work for one.
What do you mean?
I've been fired.
Fired? Irma, how did that happen?
I don't know. I'd write a letter, then I'd have to write another letter explaining what I wrote. Then my boss, Mr. Clyde, would have to write another letter apologizing for my explanation.
Oh, honey, well, why didn't you tell me?
Well, I figured two can live as cheap as none. Besides, there's Al.
Yeah, I see what you mean by none. Well, now I understand everything, honey, but why did you pawn the typewriter?
Well, we wanted to make some money to take care of you. You see, Joe had a good proposition.
Uh-oh, Joe again, and something no doubt happened to Joe's deal?
Yes, while he was dealing. Jane.
What?
Are you angry at me?
How could I be, darling? You were thinking, and whenever that happens, we have to be satisfied with pot luck.
Hi, Jane. Hello, Janie.
Well, if it isn't King Midas, everything he touches turns to 3 gold balls.
Now, wait a minute, Janie. Don't get angry. I'm sorry for what I done. And I realize if I was a lawyer, I would be disbarred. If I was a doctor, they'd take my license away.
Well, what about it?
Just wanted you to know you're not dealing with a professional man.
Oh, well, there's really no need for any explanations. I know you're sorry. I suppose it's my fault as much as anybody. I shouldn't have quit my job in the first place. Imagine me wanting you and Irma to take care of me. You know, that's one of the silliest, most terrifying thoughts I've ever had.
You feel badly about losing your job, huh, Jane?
Well, I feel badly about quitting when I didn't have to. Now we're all in a bad financial mess. I think I'll go out and get some air and try and think this thing out.
Oh, this is terrible. Jane's out of work, and I'm out of work, and you're out of work, and no money coming in, and...
Honey, let us carefully analyze the situation and see what can be done. Now, as I see it, there are 3 things we can do. First, there's a chance of me getting a job. So we immediately go to number 2. That is your chance of getting a job. This takes us to number 3. That's Jane.
Well, but she quit and there's no going back now. You know, Al, once you burn your britches behind you.
Well, honey, you heard what Jane said. She's sorry. That girl wants to work. All right, so she's eccentric. But who are we to stand in her way?
Oh, but Al...
Believe me, Irma, Jane will never be happy. Nor will we, until we get that job back for her.
Oh, but how? I don't even know why she quit. Maybe she had a quarrel with Richard that developed into a misunderstanding.
Well, there's only one way to find out. We'll call up Richard and straighten him out.
Oh, no, Al, I don't think that would be right.
Gotcha, honey. Forget it. We won't call Richard. Instead, we'll call his father.
That seems more logical.
Well, certainly you don't deal with messenger boys. You go right to the top, honey.
Well, Al, do you think it'll work?
Can't miss. He's the top man. And when you want a job back, always go to the top man. It gives you dignity. Besides, when he throws you out, you don't feel like such a bum.
Well, gee, Al, I'm so glad I have you to do my thinking for me because thinking gives me a headache. I also read that it makes your hair fall out, so I try not to think too much.
Swell, honey.
Because I know you'd never be happy with a bald-headed girl with a headache.
Operator, I want Hilltop 58...
Oh, that's a long-distance call.
Oh, why didn't you tell me? Operator, I was cut off. Get my number back immediately. Yes, it was Hilltop 5829.
Yeah, I'm nervous, Al.
Don't be nervous, chicken. You talk to him, and I'll tell you what to say. Here, take the receiver.
Okay, Al. Gee, wouldn't Jane be tickled if she knew what we were doing for? Hello? I'm Mr. Rhinelander II.
Your name is Jane Stacy, and you worked for him a long time.
My name is Jane Stacy, and I worked for you a long time. Al, I'm not Jane Stacy.
Never mind. See what I tell you. You're a reliable girl, and you've been with a firm ever since it's been established.
I'm an established girl, and I've been with your firm ever since it's been reliable.
Hold it, chicken.
Hold it, chicken.
No. You're a good typist. You never make a mistake. And what is more, you go out with his son.
I'm a good typist. I go out with your son. What is more, I never make any mistakes.
You're all wet, chicken.
You're all wet, chicken.
He shouldn't have fired you.
Al says you shouldn't have fired me. And what is more... Guess what, Al?
What?
He hung up.
Well, he's a busy man. But don't worry, chicken. I'm sure you made an impression on him.
Well, I'm walking on air. I knew the only way to solve my problem was just to face it. So I called up Richard, and in 2 minutes we both realized how foolish we'd been. Now I have the job back, and I have Richard back, and if there's anything nicer than that, Santa Claus will just have to bring it. So I couldn't wait to get back to the apartment and say, Irma.
Yes, Jane?
Irma, listen, honey, forget everything I said. Our troubles are over. I got my job back.
Listen to her, Al. She got her job back.
Little does she know who got her job back.
What are you two up to?
Oh, never mind. You'll find out, and someday you'll thank us.
Come in. Richard, what are you doing here?
I haven't any place to go. My father won't even let me in the house.
I don't understand.
Jane, why didn't you tell me you'd called my father?
Me?
I knew you were angry at me for a while, but you didn't have to tell him all those weird things. That you were established and made no mistakes when you went out with me.
What?
Well, what is more, he's still my father. You have no right to call him chicken.
It's getting a little stuffy in here. I think I'll drift along.
Do that and keep drifting. Richard, I didn't make the call. Please try to understand. Oh, Irma, how could you?
I was only trying to help.
Only trying to help. Irma, if you and that fugitive from an employment office ever meddle in my affairs again, Irma, can't you see what you've done to me?
Jane, there's only one thing we can do. Let's go over and explain everything to my father, if only for my sake.
Yes, all right, Richard.
Oh, please, Jane, give me a chance to explain. I didn't mean any harm. I only wanted to... Oh, she's angry at me. She hates me. Oh, gee, they've all gone. I wish I were a man so I could feel like a forgotten man. But I deserve it because I made Jane unhappy. And even Al has left me. There's only one thing to do. Where's the pencil? To whom it may concern.
To whom it may concern. Do not drag the river for my body as I have hung myself. Signed, guess who? P.S. Don't tell Al, he worries. Richard, did you hear that?
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Oh, no, it isn't, Richard. I'm terribly frightened. You don't know Irma.
But only someone out of her mind would do that.
I said you don't know Irma. Richard, what do we do?
Jane, if you're really worried, I think it's best to call the police.
Yes, the police. You're right, Richard, the police. Oh, dear, she'd only waited to hear the news that we'd straightened everything out with your father.
Don't worry, dear.
Oh, I can't help it.
Operator, give me police headquarters.
Isn't there any word from the police yet? I'm going to go out of my mind.
Be calm, Jane. They'll find her.
I'm telling you both, you're on the wrong track. We got to use the same tactics they use with all my friends. Offer a reward.
Oh, no. Oh, heavens, I'm afraid it's too late. Oh, Irma.
Did someone call me?
Irma!
Chicken!
Oh, honey. Oh, Irma. Oh, gee. Oh, I'm so glad to see you. I never expected to see you again.
Neither did I.
Oh, listen, honey, no matter how much I yell at you, you must never toy with such ideas. We love you.
Well, Jane, I felt so unwanted that I wanted to... But it's all right now because, you see, before I could do anything, I met my old boss, Mr. Clyde. He begged me to come back to work.
Why? Didn't he hire a new girl?
Oh, he tried 10 of them, and they all sat around. But none of them could figure out what I wrote in the past 2 years.
Well, all was peaceful again. And once more, there were 2 breadwinners in the flat. But one thing still kind of troubled me, and so that night, after we'd said our prayers, I said to Irma, Honey, tell me something. How did Al get the money to get my typewriter back?
He sold my genuine pearls.
But you said he couldn't take them out of the icebox.
I know, he sold the icebox, too.
Well, that's my friend Irma.
My Friend Irma was written and directed by Cy Howard. Remember, next week, instead of dialing your telephone to listen to your best friend, dial your radio to this same Columbia station, same time, to listen to
My Friend Irma.
Starring Marie Wilson as Irma and Kathy Lewis as Jane, with John Brown as Al and Leif Erikson as Richard. Songs were by the King's Men with the music of Bud Gluskin and his orchestra. Ori Webster speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. Columbia Broadcasting System presents a new comedy.
My Friend Irma.
Starring Marie Wilson as Irma and Kathy Lewis as Jane, with John Brown as Al.
Friendship, just a perfect friendship. When other friendships have been forgot, theirs will still be hot. My friend Irma.
I live with my friend Irma. She's my roommate, and I love her. I wouldn't trade Irma for the world, but we have our difficulties, because it just so happens that she's not the brightest girl in the world. Like, for instance, the other day I said, Irma, I see where they're going to make military service compulsory. And Irma said,
I don't think that's fair. A girl shouldn't have to go out with a sailor unless she wants to.
See what I mean? That, my friends, is one of Irma's more logical remarks. But it is her deeds rather than her words that strike consternation in the human heart. Well, it was shortly before noon. I was listening to the radio.
And fellow citizens, I'm happy to say that the Better Business Bureau and the police department are waging a campaign to stamp out the racketeers who rent stores on 2nd Avenue, fill them with worthless merchandise, and sell them to unsuspecting citizens. This campaign will chase those fakers from 2nd Avenue.
Well, that's good news. Of course, only a moron would buy there. Oh, Irma, where have you been?
Shopping on 2nd Avenue.
Oh, no.
Why, is something wrong?
I don't know yet. What did you buy?
A fur coat. It only cost me $80, and it's worth $5,000.
Who told you it was?
The man who sold it to me. Oh, and I know he's honest because he had it appraised.
By whom?
His brother.
Irma, let me see the coat.
All right, I'll put it on.
Despite the fact that I am a comparatively young girl, I've seen many strange things in my lifetime. Yes, I've even seen a bus run into a truck full of live chickens. And the result was sheer beauty compared to what my eyes are now trying to tell me. There stands Irma in front of the mirror, admiring herself. Her petite figure is completely draped in a strange sort of fur that can best be described as resembling heavy mildew. Nothing is visible above the shaggy collar except the back of her little blonde head. And the entire picture reminds one of an abandoned egg in an old nest. To add to this deathless picture, the electric fan is on and the fur is flying all over the room. For a moment, I have a terrible sensation that Irma is being plucked. But I must have been warped completely out of focus because she turned away from the mirror triumphantly and said,
Well, Jane, have you ever seen anything like it in your life? How do you like it?
Lovely. When can you take it back?
Take it back? Why?
Well, first of all, honey, it's much too big.
I know, but the man said after it's washed, it will shrink.
Honey, it's not even fur. It's shedding all over the place.
Well, that's the kind of animal it is. The man said it loses its fur in the summer, but it will grow back in the fall.
Irma, can't you see you've been swindled?
How can you say that when I only paid $80 for a genuine mink-dyed squirrel-colored caracal beaver?
Honey, that many animals haven't gotten together since they walked into Noah's Ark. Besides, where did you get the $80, Irma?
Jane,
Oh, no, sweetie, you didn't use your half of our vacation money.
Yes, I did, Jane, but you can go away by yourself.
Oh, Irma, you know I wouldn't go on a vacation to the Thousand Islands without you. How could you do a thing like this without consulting me?
Well, Jane, I wanted a fur coat because you have a nice fur coat.
Oh, I know, honey, but I made certain I got a good one. It took me 3 years to save $400 so I could get a good Persian lamb. I want you to have a good coat, too, but how could you buy that decomposed haystack?
Well, I wanted to have something extra nice to wear when I go out with Al.
Oh, Al. Mm-hmm. For the life of me, I don't even know why you go with him. He has no job, no money, no clothes, no car, no prospects, and no future.
I know, but I have to stick by him in case things get tough.
Well, you've got to take the coat back. Come in.
Hiya, chicken.
Hello, Al.
You know, Al, this is the first time you've called Irma chicken that she was dressed for the occasion.
What's up?
Al, Irma bought a new coat on 2nd Avenue.
Oh, is that what it is? I never seen fur like that. Why, when I first walked in, I thought she was tarred and feathered. Chicken, how could you buy it? I think you've been swindled.
Oh, no, I've got a 30-day guarantee.
Oh, what's it say?
Well, I didn't have a chance to open it. I'll read it now.
Well, I'm glad to know you were smart enough to ask for a guarantee. Read it, baby.
A 30-day guarantee. We guarantee that June has 30 days.
You know, I'm surprised they even put that in writing. Come in.
Hello, everybody. Tell me. Say, Jane, does Mrs. O'Reilly know about this?
What?
You're keeping a dead grizzly bear in the apartment?
Professor Kropotkin, that's Irma. She bought a fur coat.
Irma, why didn't you ask me? From furs I know. Animals like that I have never seen.
Well, the man told me they're very rare. They hide in the woods.
Could be. If I look like that, I will hide too. Irma, darling, don't wear it. You'll be risking your life.
What do you mean?
You'll put it on, you'll go outside. A dog will chase you up a tree.
You know, Professor, you'd think she'd know better. I've told her a dozen times if she wants to shop to use my charge account. After all, that's what a charge account is for. To send things back.
And 2nd Avenue, of all places. Even the cops are afraid to shop there.
2nd Avenue, what they did to me. I remember I just came off the boat. I went to 2nd Avenue for a suit. What a suit. They sold me red pants and a blue jacket.
Well, you couldn't wear that.
Of course not. Olga had a white dress. When we walked down the street, everybody saluted. But Kropotkin they can't fool. I said, gentlemen, this is one monkey you don't give the business to. I may be a foreigner, but I know what they're wearing. I demand satisfaction.
Did you get it?
Certainly. Have you seen my purple sports jacket with the yellow knickerbocker? Stand down. Well, Irma, my personal feeling is that you got taken advantage of. But that's the tragedy of life. Goodbye.
Gee, Professor, Kropotkin didn't like the coat either.
Yeah, I know, honey, but that's why we have to get your money back, you see? I realize that there are some very legitimate stores on 2nd Avenue. You just happen to have gotten stung. Now, what was the name of the store where you bought this glorified throw rug?
Boothby's. Square Deal Boothby's. It's an established firm. See, it says on the box, established June 1947.
What time?
Oh, Jane, I don't know what you're driving at because I know that Mr. Boothby is honest. When I gave him the money, he didn't even ask for a receipt.
Irma. Oh, Irma, you've been swindled. But I know who'll get us action on this. Come on, Irma. Come on, Al. We're going right over to the Better Business Bureau. Well, the three of us got on the trolley. Al, myself, and Irma, with the coat on her arm. At first, the trolley was crowded. Presently, the rays of the sun beating down on the fur seemed to cause a strange chemical reaction, and pretty soon we had the trolley to ourselves. We were completely alone except for the motorman who insisted on driving with his head out of the window. All in all, it was a great day for the bus lines. Presently, we arrived at the offices of the Better Business Bureau.
All right, chicken, there's the bureau. Now, you know what to tell them.
Well, Jane, maybe you better rehearse me again.
All right, honey, now listen. You just go in and you tell him that this man Boothby sold you a decrepit, moth-eaten coat and you want him brought to the attention of the police as it is too awful to walk down the street in. Got it?
Got it.
Also, chicken, tell him you are a working girl and a citizen and cannot afford to pay for a coat whose hair is already fallen out. Got it?
Got it.
Yeah. Now, don't get excited. Let's go in.
What can I do for you, miss?
This man Boothby sold me a fur coat that is worthless and too awful for a working girl who's decrepit and moth-eaten.
What?
I am a citizen and my hair is falling out. And when I walk down the street, I don't get any attention from the police.
Chicken, please. You see, the kid's a little confused. I'll explain it to you straight so you'll understand. The doll here was ankling down 2nd Avenue, eyeing the what gives in the window. And she had stashed away 80 clams for the high-ups. When this con merchant heaves her an old clip and jolts her for 4 double sawbucks. You got it?
Is there anyone in the crowd who speaks English?
Well, I'm not so sure, but I'll try. You see, my roommate, Miss Peterson, bought this coat on 2nd Avenue for $80, and I think it's a disgrace, and I want you to do something about it.
Let me see that coat. Never seen fur like this before. Well, there's no need for further discussion. We'll put a man on the case, and you take the coat back to Boothby's and get your money back. You tell him we're investigating him.
Oh, thank you, sir. I don't know how to repay you. Are you allowed to take tips?
No, thanks.
Well, there must be something I can do. Have you any children?
Yes.
Good, I'll send you a card on Father's Day.
Bless you. Next?
Irma, there's the door. Let's tiptoe out.
Hurry, chicken. You can grab that trolley and take the coat back. I'd go with you, but I got a big deal brewing. Well, see you later.
All right, Al, so long.
Gee, I don't know. Maybe I should go with you, honey.
Oh, now, Jane, don't worry. I'll get every penny of that $80, and we'll be able to go on our vacation like we planned.
Good. But, honey, don't take a check.
Think I'm a fool? I'll insist on cash, 3 10s and 2 5s.
Irma, that's 40. Get 80.
Oh, all right. And if I need a witness, I'll have his brother count it.
Well, an hour passed. I was in the apartment waiting for Irma to return. Presently, Al returned. He had a new business proposition. Painting pigeons and selling them for pheasants. Well, naturally, I wasn't interested. I was waiting for Irma to come home with the $80. Presently, the door slowly opened. It was Irma. Hello, Irma.
Hello, Jane.
Well, honey, I see you got rid of the coat.
Yes, I did.
Did Mr. Boothby give you back your $80?
No, he couldn't.
Why not?
I lost the coat.
Chicken, how?
Oh, I don't know. I had so many things on my head, and I forgot it and left it on the trolley when I got off.
Oh, Irma, how could you?
That's right. 2 of you pick on me. Did I do a crime? Haven't either of you ever been absent-minded?
Well, yes, honey, but how long can you be absent?
Now, wait a minute. Let's not pick on Irma. It could have happened to anybody. It's just that we're in bad shape because the Better Business Bureau fixed things up for us. Now we haven't got the coat to return. Oh, instead of fighting among ourselves, Al, call up the Lost and Found department of the trolley company.
No good. Never get service over the phone. Only one thing to do. We go down to the car barn and frisk the trolleys as they come in.
Al?
What, chicken?
Have you lost faith in me?
Oh, no, baby. People make mistakes. They're human beings. And you're entitled to the same consideration.
Oh, gee, I'm glad you said that, Al, because I couldn't let a man love me who hated the sight of me.
Well, now I think I know why Romeo and Juliet killed themselves. Come on, let's get going. Well, here we are at the car barn. I don't know how to describe it. Have you ever spent a warm, languid June evening under a full moon at midnight in a car barn? You haven't? My friends, life has passed you by. Words can never capture the true color of the scene. Red trolleys going out, green trolleys coming in, and once in a while, for a shocker, they sneak in a yellow one. But Irma's coat must be found. Al?
Yes, Jane?
Any trace of the coat?
Not even a whiff.
Oh. We've been here 2 hours, and my feet are just killing me. Irma, think. Can you remember the number of the trolley?
No, I can't. But now I know why.
Why?
It wasn't a trolley, it was a bus.
Oh, well, I'll be all right. I'll be all right. I'll take an adrenaline or something. And time is a great healer. We're home again, a little shaken by Irma's admission. It's after midnight, and there's just no point in going to the bus terminal because I know that after we're there for a few hours, Irma will turn to me and say, "You know, Jane, it wasn't a bus. It was a ferry boat." But as ridiculous as it sounds, Al has come up with the one solution.
Kids, I got it. We'll put an ad in the paper. Where's the pencil? Oh, here. Lost. 1 fur-bearing coat.
Well, you'd better describe it.
The papers wouldn't print it.
Please, I'm trying to write the ad. Lost. 1 fur coat on bus.
Will you hurry, Al? This has got to make the morning edition.
Okay. Lost. Fur coat. Fantastic reward.
Al, fantastic must mean at least $20.
Gotcha. Lost. Fur coat. Liberal reward.
Well, that means money, too.
Gotcha. Lost. Fur coat. Honesty is the best policy.
Just say reward.
Got it all. Return to Irma Peterson, 8224 West 73rd Street. I'll get it right to the paper.
Well, now, Al, if you'll excuse me, I'll say goodnight to the both of you and go to bed. I'm rather exhausted. This entire day and night is something I'll look back on and laugh rather hysterically about, you know. Good night.
Oh, good night and sleep well, Jane.
Good night, Jane. See me to the door, chicken.
Sure, Al. Al, do you think somebody will read the ad in the paper and return the coat?
Why, certainly, honey. You'll have it in the morning. Good night, chicken.
Aren't you going to kiss me?
Oh, sure. Here.
Gee, Al, when you kiss me, I lose all my senses.
Look, chicken, don't go pinning no rap on me. Good night.
now, between the acts of my friend Irma, it's the Sportsman Quartet with Lud Gluskin and his orchestra and their novel arrangement of My Adobe Hacienda.
Party loading Mexican border, where the senoritas flow beneath the moon.
I think.
There's a bold and dashing vaquero, and every night you'll hear him croon.
I think.
In my Adobe Hacienda, there's a touch of Mexico.
I think.
That who's lovelier than Ortiz, blooming in the patio.
I think.
All 7 stars and the strum of guitar make every evening seem so sweet.
I think.
In my Adobe Hacienda, life and love are more complete. More complete.
Think so? Yes, I think.
In my Adobe Hacienda, there's a touch of Mexico. Now my sister's than ours comes down way below it, blooming in the patio. All the stars and the storm of guitar make every evening seem so sweet.
I think.
In my Adobe Hacienda, life and love are more complete. I want to go back to my little Adobe shack in Mexico City.
I think.
For that's where life and love are more complete. It's sweet and very neat. It's quite a treat, so I repeat. Life and love are more complete. Why I'm not for singing in your faces?
I think.
We think.
Well, the following morning, I wasn't due at work until 9:30, so I waited around to see if anyone answered the ad about Irma's lost coat. I was sure if anyone found the coat, we were bound to get it back because nobody in their right mind would keep it. Answer the door, honey. It may be someone returning the coat.
Oh, all right. Oh, I better get the reward. What are those cookies I baked?
Irma, this calls for a reward, not a penalty. Come in.
How do you do? I'm Mrs. Louise Cartwright. In my daily scrutiny of the newspapers, I chanced across your advertisement, and it may solve my dilemma.
What do you mean?
Yesterday, I was cruising down Madison Avenue in our open town car. I find it so much easier to dock in and out of traffic with a small car. When suddenly something came flying into the car and landed prone on my dear husband. And for moments, he was loath to part with it because it was the first time in years he had hair on his head.
That's my coat.
Well, here it is. And it's been quite an experience.
There's a $10 reward.
Oh, my dear, I don't need the money. But I have a suggestion. Why don't you give it to some worthy charity, like the Park Avenue Kennel Club for the preservation of underfed French poodles? Your wonderful work they're doing, and every little bit helps. Good day.
Oh, Jane, isn't it wonderful? I've got my coat back, and now I'm going right down and get my $80.
Hello. Who? Oh, yes, Better Business Bureau. Yes, we have the coat, and we've... what? Oh, no. I see. Well, thanks. Irma, the coat is yours for keeps. Mr. Boothby has left town, and the police are after him with a warrant for swindling 100 people.
What a stupid businessman. That's no way to build up goodwill.
You know what this means, Irma? No $80, no vacation.
Well, Jane, you can go.
Oh, honey, I told you I wouldn't go without you.
Hiya, chicken. What's up, Jane?
I'm late for work, Al. Irma will tell you. And Irma, when you hang that coat up, keep it away from my Persian lamb. I don't want my coat to catch the mange. I'll be seeing you.
Chicken, what happened?
Oh, Al, Boothby left town.
Oh, well, don't cry, chicken. There's only one guy who can help.
Who, Al?
Who but... Hello, Joe. Al, got a fur coat to get rid of. Huh? Is it hot? Well, frankly, it's not so hot. You bought it on 2nd Avenue. Now, don't hang up, Joe. How can I get $80 for this coat? Huh? Put 40 in each pocket. Joe, this is an emergency. What can we do? Uh-huh. 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 Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Thanks, Joe. Chicken, our problem is solved.
Well, how?
We raffle off the coat by selling tickets around the neighborhood at a buck a throw.
Well, is that honest?
Of course, Chicken. No matter how you look at it, this coat is worth a buck. Even if you only hang it in the window to frighten off prowlers. Now, listen to me, Irma. We print 120 tickets, get back our 80, give 40 to charity. You know, that orphanage down the street. How about that?
Well, gee, Al, that'll be sweet, giving our money to charity. I like that.
Chicken, we're clicking now. Gotta print the tickets. Where's that pencil?
Well, Al, would Jane think it's all right?
Honey, you know the faith Jane has in us. You know what she thinks about the two of us.
Yes, I know. Well, here's the pencil anyhow, Al. I like to live dangerously.
Now, Monster Raffle.
Well, Al, do you think we ought to describe the coat in the first line?
Get your point. Scratch out the monster. Make it Grand Raffle. Attention, men. Does your wife always talk about a fur coat? Take a chance on this one. It will leave her speechless. A genuine, mink-dyed, squirrel-colored, caracal beaver. Figure it out, men. You can't go wrong at 2 bits an animal. Got it?
Got it.
Hey, come in. Irma, keep printing the ticket. Oh, hello, Kropotkin. How would you like to buy a ticket for a raffle?
Oh, yes, Professor, please take one. This raffle is to get rid of my coat.
Oh, your coat, Irma. Who is sponsoring this raffle? The Board of Health?
Professor, part of this money is for charity. Remember, it's better to give than receive.
I agree with you. A coat like that is better to give than receive. But, Irma, if it will help you get back your money, I'll buy one.
Yeah, thanks, but we also want you to sell some. So you take 30, I'll sell 30, Mrs. O'Reilly will take 30, and Irma will sell 30.
How can I sell 30? I haven't got that many enemies.
Sell them to your friends and end the shortage. Then tomorrow, the 4 of us meet, and we have the grand drawing.
Well, when I got back home, I was just deliriously happy at the prospect of the wonderful summer that Irma had made possible for us. Yeah, I can just see the two of us. Me and my Persian lamb and Irma and that Australian sheepdog. Wafting the cool breezes under the 3rd Avenue L. Come in.
How do you do? You remember me?
Oh, yes. You're Mr. Gerard of the Better Business Bureau.
That's right. I know you'll be glad to know that we've located Square Deal Boothby. We found him in Newark, and we plan to take action against him.
Oh, that's fine.
Now, we need that coat for evidence. We've been trying to nail this Boothby for a long time, so we'll gladly pay you what you paid for the coat. Here's $80.
Oh, this just solves everything. Here's the coat, Mr. Gerard.
Thank you. Good heavens, it's still shedding.
You better hurry. By the time you get to Newark, you'll have nothing but the lining.
Goodbye.
Well, Chicken, it's been a pretty tough day, but we did it. All tickets are sold, and I've already told the orphanage. Now, let's go in and break the good news to Jane.
Hello, Jane. I have wonderful news for you.
Oh, I've got wonderful news for you, too, honey, so let me tell mine first. Huh?
All right, ladies first.
Thank you. Well, our problems are over. We just sold that terrible coat to the Better Business Bureau for $80. Isn't that a lucky break? Huh? What are you two hawing about?
Tell her, Chicken.
Gentlemen first.
Okay. Jane, we gotta have that coat.
I don't understand.
We're raffling it off in 10 minutes. Sold 120 chances. Given $40 to an orphanage.
Oh, no. Who bought the tickets?
Well, all our neighbors and the policemen on the beat.
Oh, the police.
Well, gee, we could still have our raffle if we could only lay our hands on a coat.
Well, kids, there's only one thing to do. You'll have to raffle off my Persian lamb coat.
Oh, but Jane, it's your good coat. It took you 3 years to buy it.
I know it, honey, but I'd rather be covered with respect than with Persian lamb.
Oh, thanks, Janie, but there ain't no need to do that. Tell you what we'll do. Irma and me will go out and return all the money and explain that the raffle was called off because the coat was perishable, and it died before we could get it here.
And the orphanage still gets the $40 that you promised them.
Oh, but that means we'll only save half our vacation money.
Well, it can't be helped, honey. A promise is a promise.
Jane?
Yeah?
We can still go to the 1,000 Islands on half our money.
How?
We'll only visit 500 of them.
got home late that night from returning the raffle money, and she was very excited. She said,
Jane?
Yeah?
Guess what happened? The oddest coincidence. I met Mr. Boosby, and he looks just wonderful in a beard.
Irma, the police of 2 states are looking for Mr. Boothby.
How were you able to recognize him, especially if he was wearing a beard?
Oh, it was easy. I can spot a faker now. He was selling wristwatches for $1.
Oh, yeah. Still trying to fool the people, is he?
Yes, worse than ever. Look, this watch he sold me doesn't even glow in the dark.
And that's how it's been, and I think how it's always going to be with my friend Irma.
My Friend Irma was produced and directed by Cy Howard. Tonight's script was written by Cy Howard, Mark Levy, and Stanley Adams. Remember, next week, instead of dialing your telephone to listen to your best friend, dial your radio to this same Columbia station, same time, to listen to
My Friend Irma.
Starring Marie Wilson as Irma and Kathy Lewis as Jane, with John Brown as Al. Professor Kropotkin was played by Hans Conried. Also appearing in tonight's cast were Irene Tedrow, Alan Reed, and Terry O'Sullivan. Music was by the Sportsman Quartet and Lud Gluskin and his orchestra. Laurie Webster speaking.
The Columbia Broadcasting System presents a new comedy.
My Friend Irma.
Starring Marie Wilson as Irma and Kathy Lewis as Jane, with John Brown as Al and Leif Erikson as Richard.
Friendship, friendship, just a perfect friendship. When other friendships have been forgot, theirs will still be hot. My friend Irma.
My name is Jane Stacy. I'm one of thousands of working girls in this country who, for reasons of economy and the desire for companionship, live with a roommate. My roommate is Irma Peterson. You couldn't want to meet a sweeter and more generous person. Irma will lend you a nylon, she'll lend you a perfume, she'll lend you her money. You know, by the way she acts, there are times when I'm convinced that she's loaned her mind to someone. For instance, the other day I was reading the newspaper and I said, Irma, look at this. A man is going over Niagara Falls in a barrel. And Irma said,
Gee, if it felt that way, why'd you get married in the first place?
She didn't even go to college. But Irma, strangely, is the least of my problems. Right now I'm involved in that fascinating feminine version of fishing. I got the man I love on the hook, and I don't know how to land him. See, wouldn't it be wonderful? Instead of just being his secretary, I'd be Mrs. Richard Rhinelander III. Irma.
Yes, Jane?
Look at this society page. Richard's family is all over it. His mother was guest at a luncheon. His Aunt Cornelia was given a tea by the ladies' auxiliary. His father was present at a dinner given in his honor.
Well, no wonder they have so much money they never have to buy their own food.
Oh, Irma, it all looks pretty hopeless.
Gee, Jane, honey, don't be so depressed.
Oh, I can't help it. Frankly, I think I'm reaching for the stars. After all, I'm sure Richard's family wouldn't be crazy about the thought of their only son marrying a girl who works.
Well, that's easy to overcome.
How?
Quit your job.
Oh, Irma, honey, I've got to figure something out.
Well, I'm glad Al and I have no such worries. You see, ours is a perfect arrangement.
How do you mean?
Well, we have no financial problems. Our relationship is very simple. I have Al, and Al has me, and we both have nothing.
Well, I'm too busy to argue the point, so I'll just go along with you. Come in. Hello, Richard.
Hello, Jane. I've got to talk to you. Will you excuse us, Irma?
Oh, certainly, I understand. Couples like privacy. Gee, you should see how furious Al gets when the cops say move along.
Richard, you seem so upset. What is it?
Jane, I couldn't wait until I saw you. There's something we must discuss. Now, here, read this Broadway column.
Now, let me see it. What young society stockbroker was seen with what young secretary at what nightclub on what evening? Well, Richard, what's passing? 3 out of 4?
Jane, I'm not concerned with just this item. Now, it's the general idea that my family detests cheap publicity or notoriety. And if there's anything that would kill our chances of getting married, it would be that.
Oh, but Richard, remember me. I'm just a poor working girl. How'd I get my name in the paper? Who knows from Jane Stacy?
Well, Jane, I just want you to be doubly careful. Now, remember, no publicity of any kind.
Oh, Richard, I promise. And believe me, I'll keep my name out of the newspaper if I have to die anonymously.
Can we come in?
Oh, sure. Come on in.
Look, Jane, it's Al.
Hi, Al.
Hello, Al. Say, why do you look so upset?
Got business worries. I was just informed I only got 2 more weeks before my unemployment insurance runs out.
Well, Al, you can always get a job, can't you?
Kitty, I came up here to be comforted, not insulted.
Well, Irma can comfort you. Richard and I have our own problems.
Yes, come on, Jane. We'll discuss it over a cocktail.
Okay, fine. So long, Al. Be back soon, honey.
What do you mean, problem? Has Jane got trouble?
Well, I think so, Al. You see, Richard's family have their names all over the society page. They're rich and social, and they know all the people in the horsey set. Poor Jane, she doesn't even know any horses in the people set.
You know, Chicken, I like Janie, and I hate to see her lose a swell guy like Richard.
But, Al, how can we prevent it?
Only one way. We got to get Jane some sensational publicity.
Publicity?
Why, certainly. Richard's family gets publicity on the society page. We'll get Jane's name on the front page. That'll put her in solid with the family. Solve everything.
But how can we do that, Al?
We need help.
From who?
There's only one man who can help us.
Oh, who, Al?
Who but... Hello, Joe. Al, got a problem. How can I get publicity for a girl? No good, Joe. Yeah, I know what it did for Lady Godiva, but they got traffic cops nowadays. What else? Great. Gotcha. Irma got just the thing. Hand me that Daily Gazette.
Well, here, Al.
Let me see. Oh, here we are. Daily Gazette Bathing Beauty Contest. Girls, your chance for fame and fortune. Mail in a picture of yourself in a bathing suit to Miss McHugh, contest editor of the Daily Gazette. Married women are ineligible.
Ineligible? That's a lie. I've talked to many married women, and I can understand every word they say.
Please, chick. Now, this is what we do. We send in Jane's picture and enter her in the beauty contest.
Jane in a beauty contest?
Why, certainly, honey. Can you imagine the expression on Richard's family's face when they open up the paper and see Jane's picture in a bathing suit?
Oh, Al, that's wonderful. And Jane's so pretty. I know she'll win, and then after she wins, she'll become a big Hollywood star.
Could be. Jane may even win an Academy Award. And she'll bring an Oscar home.
Oh, Al, we're doing the wrong thing.
Why?
If she brings Oscar home, Richard will walk out as sure as you're born.
Chicken, Oscar is a statue. Now, get out that picture album. We've got to find a great picture of Jane.
Come in.
It's only me, Professor Kropotkin. Tell me, what are you doing with that picture album?
Oh, we're trying to find a picture to enter in a beauty contest.
Picture in a beauty contest? Beauty is not found in pictures. Beauty is found in the trees, the birds, the flowers. What's that picture there?
That's Irma in a bathing suit.
You know something? I've been wasting too much time in the woods. Al, you are a lucky man. Beauty in a woman is such a priceless thing. In my youth, I searched the continent for a perfect woman. Finally, I found her. She was gorgeous. A perfect face, perfect figure. I was broken up for days.
Why?
Her husband was a wrestler. He broke me up for days. Tell me, does Jane know you are putting her in beauty contest?
Oh, no, she doesn't. You see, Professor, we always like to help Jane with her problems.
Hey, you know, Chicken, there isn't one decent picture of Jane in this album. But there's a great one of you in a bathing suit.
What are you going to do, Al?
We're going to send in your picture and write Jane Stacy's name under it.
Oh, but Al, that could lead to trouble. What if my picture is in the paper and someone falls in love with me? They'll have to ask my father for Jane's hand.
Chicken, we're doing a noble thing. Now write Jane Stacy on the bottom of your picture and put it in that envelope.
Well, okay. Shall I enclose the picture?
Well, certainly.
You still got room. You could enclose the bathing suit.
Say, Professor Crow, the contest closes at 5 o'clock, and this has got to be in the mail. Would you drop it in the mailbox?
Certainly. It's a pleasure to deal with people like you. Goodbye.
Isn't it a nice feeling doing things for your friends? I bet if Jane knew what we were doing for her, she'd go out of her mind.
Yeah. There's nothing like doing a good deed. You know, Chicken, I feel like a Boy Scout. How about a kiss before I go?
Certainly, honey.
What are you laughing at?
No Boy Scout ever kissed like that.
I got the world on a string. Good morning.
Hi, Jane. Gee, you sound happy.
I just left Richard, and it was wonderful. He was so attentive. You know, I may be counting my chickens prematurely, but I wouldn't be a bit surprised if he pops the question.
What do you think he's going to ask you?
Chicken, pops the question is a standard phrase. It's used to signify the dying words of a single man.
Oh, Jane, darling, you mean you and Richard?
Oh, no, not yet, honey, but it looks encouraging.
Yeah, but I don't understand. Irma said you had the blues about the guy.
Oh, that. Well, Al, some columnist hinted about Richard and me in the newspaper, and if there's anything that could kill my chances with him and his family, it would be any kind of publicity.
Yeah, well, Irma and I were thinking along...
Of course, I have nothing to worry about because I have no more chance of getting publicity than the Queen of Sheba. Right, Irma?
Yes, Your Majesty.
What's going on with you two? Why are you looking at each other like that?
Can't help it. We're in love.
Yes, with each other.
Then why are you staring like that?
We don't trust each other.
Well, I only hope that whatever the two of you have been up to doesn't concern me. I gotta wash my hair, so I leave you with 2 words. Goodbye.
Oh, Chicken, we're in a lot of trouble. But we can still pull out. I'll tell you what to do. We got to stop the presses. You got to go down to the Daily Gazette and talk to the editor.
Well, what'll I say?
Say anything. And if you have to, because it's an emergency, flirt with him. Even sit on his lap if you have to, but stop those presses.
Oh, well, that's silly. If I sit on his lap, that won't stop the presses. It'll just increase his circulation.
And now, between the acts of my friend Irma, it's the Sportsman Quartet and their novel arrangement of If It Isn't Love.
What we've got to tell you is entirely confidential at this moment. A secret, we've got a little secret. A secret kind of secret. We're aching for to shout it to every daffodil and tell the world about it. In fact, we think we will. If this isn't love, the whole world is crazy. If this isn't love, I'm daft as a daisy. With moons all around and cows jumping over. And cows are jumping all over. There's something amiss, and we'll eat our hats if this isn't love. With an apple on top of William Bell. With this I cannot grapple. Because you're so adorable. If this isn't love, then winter is summer, autumn, spring, and fall.
along Fifth Avenue. Window shopping, daydreaming about becoming Mrs. Richard Rhinelander III. I can just see our wedding day. Irma will be maid of honor and best man will be Al. On second thought, maybe we better elope. The best man has to carry the ring, and I don't want a pawn ticket put on my finger. They're awful cute, and I love them. Best friends I have in the world. Always trying to help.
Oh, stop crying, chicken.
Oh, Al, what'll we do about Jane? It'll be so embarrassing for her and Richard when her name appears in the paper. We've got to keep it out. Don't you know any big shots?
Oh, yes. But they're all on probation. Oh. Hello? Huh? Daily Gazette? What's that? Jane Stacy has qualified for the finals at Atlantic City? But listen, Mister... Oh. Oh, chicken, we're trapped. We got to think of how to get Jane out of trouble. Let's think.
I'll try.
Thought of anything yet, chicken?
No, but I'm thinking.
Atta girl. Keep trying. How you doing, chicken?
I think I'm getting a little closer.
Keep trying, honey. Got any thoughts yet, honey?
Al?
What?
Would you mind repeating the question?
Oh. Wait a minute, chicken. I think I got the answer to our dilemma. I just remembered. This contest is for single girls. We'll tell them Jane is married. She'll be disqualified and they won't print the picture.
Oh, that's wonderful, Al.
I'll get them on the phone. Hello, Daily Gazette. Give me the department that's in charge of the bathing beauty contest. Here, chicken, you talk to them. I'll tell you what to say.
Hello? Daily Gazette?
Tell them if they plaster that picture of you wearing a bathing suit in the newspaper, they'll wind up in court. So they better not print it.
If you print that picture of me in your bathing suit, I'll get plastered and wind up in court wearing a newspaper.
No, chicken.
No, chicken.
Tell them you just found out that the contest is for single girls, and you are married, have a husband who works, and you had 4 babies. So you should be automatically disqualified, and you're sorry.
I'm sorry. The contest is for single girls who should be disqualified because I've just found out that I'm a married woman with 4 husbands and a baby who works automatically.
Hold it, chicken.
Hold it, chicken.
I'll take it. Hello? Listen, Jane Stacy is married. Yeah, got 4 kids. On the level. Goodbye. It's all fixed, chicken. Jane won't get no unfavorable publicity. It's a closed chapter.
Oh, gee, Al, you're so wonderful. I don't know how to reward you.
Well, chicken, you know what little Al likes.
Oh, Al, you're so persistent. All right. Go to the ice box and get a hard-boiled egg.
Well, I'm home. And I can't quite describe the scene of domestic bliss that greets my eyes. Al stretched out upon the sofa eating a hard-boiled egg. And Irma's at his feet picking up the shells. Now I know why Al calls her chicken. Irma's always good for a hard-boiled egg. But I don't like the expression on their faces. When the 2 of them get that angelic look, I know it's time to run for the hills. But I said, Irma.
Yes, Jane.
Did Richard call?
No.
Are you sure he didn't phone?
No, Jane, I didn't hear the phone ring. I know if he called, he'd have sense enough to ring the phone first.
Gee, I can't understand it. Come in. Hello, Richard. Richard, what's wrong? You're white and trembling.
Maybe he's hungry. Want a hard-boiled egg, Richard?
Jane, look at this newspaper.
Newspaper? Jane Stacy, contestant in Atlantic City Beauty Contest, eliminated upon disclosure that she is married and the mother of 4 children. Me?
Well, finish my lunch. Think I'll be running along.
You stay right where you are, Al. Richard, surely you don't believe 4 children. Why, it's ridiculous. I haven't even left the house.
Now, Jane, Certainly I don't believe it, but my family read the papers. Now, how will I explain? What will I say?
Well, just say that Jane isn't married and the children are 4 typographical errors.
Better call home and try to catch them before they read the newspapers and explain things to them.
Yes, Richard, that's a wonderful idea.
Hello, Dad. Yes, Dad. Yes, Dad, I read 4 children. What? The morning edition said 5. Oh, no, it's only 4. Oh, I mean... Yes, Dad. Yes, Dad. Yes, Dad. Yes, Mother. Yes, Mother. Yes, Auntie. All right, Jeeves. Well, you know what this means.
You have 5 phones in the house.
Oh, be it still, Irma.
Jane, I don't know how I'll explain this to my folks. I don't know how we get into these things. Every time I'm with you, something happens.
But, Richard,
There's no point in this talking, Jane. I'd better rush home and see what I do. Bye.
My, it's quiet.
Just the calm before the storm. Irma Peterson, what have you and that fugitive from an honest living been up to?
Oh, Jane, I didn't mean anything. Honest, I thought you wanted publicity, so I sent my picture and your name into the Atlantic City Beauty Contest. And then when we found out that you didn't want publicity, we had to think fast, so we gave you 4 children.
Only 4? Well, I'm glad you thought fast, otherwise I'd be leading a parade. Well, Irma Peterson, this is the last straw. We're going right down to the Gazette, and you're going to straighten everything out, even if you have to enter that contest. Well, I showed Irma what it means to meddle in other people's business. Here we are at Atlantic City. It's strange, doesn't it? Well, I'll tell you something stranger. Irma is Miss Greater New York. The Gazette would retract the item about my 4 children only on condition that Irma go through with the contest. There she is, in all her glory, walking up and down the reviewing stand. She's wearing a bathing suit, I think. And Al is in his glory. So far, he's collected 6 Kewpie dolls and 9 boxes of saltwater taffy by putting a brick under his hat and asking the man to guess his weight. But now a fantastic thing has happened. Irma was acclaimed the winner. She was given a large silver loving cup, and there she stands on the boardwalk at Atlantic City making her thank you speech.
Thank you. Again, I say thank you. Did I say thank you?
You did.
Thank you. My friends, as you know, beauty is not inherited. It's something you get from your mother and father. But I'm so happy because in voting me Miss Greater New York, I want to tell you that I will take great pride in executing my responsibility. And I want to thank you again for my execution.
Hurry up, Irma. We'll miss our train.
Okay. Oh, Al, honey, will you carry my trophy?
Certainly, chicken.
Gee, what happened? You're limping.
Unfortunate accident. Dropped my hat on my foot.
And so, as we left beautiful Atlantic City, we waved goodbye. And even the waves wouldn't wave back. When we got home, there was a knock on the door, and in came Richard. Oh, Richard, gee, it's wonderful seeing you.
Now, about Atlantic City.
I know, Richard, I know. We had to go through with it. It was the only way to make your family understand everything about me, and now they know that I'm innocent.
Oh, of course they do. In fact, Father saw Irma's picture in the paper.
Oh, no. More trouble?
You said it. Father wants to meet Irma.
Well, now that Irma has won a cup and has become a celebrity, there's no living with her. She really has delusions of grandeur. Because that night, as I was trying to get the Atlantic City sand out of my hair, Irma said,
Jean, I'm going to enter another beauty contest, but it's important that this one must be a little one.
Why?
Well, now that I've won this cup, I'd like to win a saucer to go with it.
Well, with a cup and saucer, quite a dish is my friend Irma.
My Friend Irma was produced and directed by Cy Howard. Tonight's script was written by Cy Howard and Park Levy. Remember, next week, instead of dialing your telephone to listen to your best friend, dial your radio to this same Columbia station, same time, to listen to
My Friend Irma,
starring Marie Wilson as Irma and Kathy Lewis as Jane, with John Brown as Al and Leif Erikson as Richard. Professor Kropotkin was played by Hans Conried. Music was by the Sportsman Quartet. Maury Webster speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The Armed Forces Radio Service presents My Friend Irma, starring Marie Wilson as Irma, Joan Banks as Jane, and Hans Conried as the lovable Professor Kropotkin.
Friendship, friendship, it's just perfect friendship. When other friendships have been forgotten, theirs will still be hot. My friend Irma.
Sweetie, what kept you so long?
Well, I went 6 stops past our station.
Why?
Well, every time I went to get off, some nice gentleman got up and offered me a seat, and I just couldn't turn him down. Oh, Jane, I have wonderful news.
Really?
I've decided to better myself.
Oh, wonderful. You're going to give up Al?
Oh, no, Jane. I've made up my mind to have culture and social position. So I took my last $30 out of the bank and enrolled in the school for piano lessons.
Piano lessons?
Mm-hmm.
Irma, look in the corner.
Huh? Oh, it's not there.
No.
Oh, well, you probably mislaid it someplace.
Yes, I swept it under the rug while I was cleaning.
Hmm.
Look, sweetie, I'm trying to get this situation clear. I sent the piano back to cut down expenses, and you have to pick this time to take piano lessons. Irma, I can't understand how you could do a thing like that. You never touched that piano.
Well, it got me all confused. It has 3 pedals on the bottom, and I only have 2 legs.
Irma, let's not waste any more time. The piano is gone, and you need your money. So go back to the music school and tell them you've changed your mind.
Oh, Jane, they won't give the money back. You can see what it says right here in this circular.
Let me see. Look. The Beethoven School of Music. Sam Beethoven, president.
Oh, they have a real nice slogan, haven't they, Jane?
Well, let me read it. If you have music in your heart and bones, who knows, you may be another Spike Jones. Oh, no. And look at this. Hours from 9 to 6, payments in advance, and positively no refunds.
I discussed that part about refunds with Mr. Beethoven, and he said the purpose of music is to make people happy, and that if he had to give back the money, it would make him very sad.
But, honey, what are you going to do? You're stuck with the lessons and you have no piano. What are you going to practice on?
Oh, could use a typewriter and hum.
Oh, sweetie, be sensible. Come in.
It's only me, Professor Kropotkin. Hello, Janie and Irma. Proud like 2 little peacocks. One with her head in the air, the other with air in her head.
Why, Professor?
Oh, excuse me, Jenny. A little joke I found on a package of birdseed. Girls, I was wondering, could I borrow some wire to hang up a picture of Mrs. O'Reilly in my room?
Well, surely, but why the sudden affection for Mrs. O'Reilly?
The doctor's orders.
Doctor's orders?
Yeah. He put me on a diet, and her picture is the only thing that will spoil my appetite. What seems to be the trouble, girls? You look a little... say, where is the piano?
Professor, I just sent the piano back because the payments were too large, and what do you think Irma did?
Signed up for piano lessons.
How did you guess?
I figured for Irma to be a logical step. Irma, darling, maybe you can get your money back.
Oh, no, there are no refunds, but it says on this circular that I can substitute something else for piano lessons. And you're a professor. I mean, you're a musician, Professor. What do you suggest?
Well, please, let me look at the list, huh? Beethoven Music School. I knew a man who took that course. Studied for 10 years. Still couldn't learn to play an instrument.
Then the school didn't help him at all?
Well, Janie, yes and no. After 10 years, he was so mad that every time he saw someone play, he would wave his fist at him. He became one of the biggest conductors in America.
You see, Jane, I told you it was a good school. What course do you think I ought to take, Professor?
Well, here's something that sounds practical. Combination harp and drum lesson.
Practical?
Sure. Anyone who practices all day on the drum should also be prepared to play the harp.
Hello, Jane. Professor. Hiya, chicken.
Hello, Al, honey.
Say, Al, that's a beautiful coat. Where did you buy it?
Oh, thanks. Got it on an election bet.
Oh, you won it.
Well, not exactly. Another guy lost the bet, and I held his coat while he pushed a peanut down the street with his nose. Poor man, he didn't see the traffic signal turn green. Wouldn't have happened if he had worn a tail light. Say, what happened to the piano?
Oh, Jane sent it back, so...
Oh, that's tough. Well, if my new deal comes through, we'll all be on easy street.
What is it this time, Al? Punching holes in Dixie cups and selling them for soup strainers?
Nothing so petty. This one can't miss. It's a special type television set for bars. It shows only half an image. So when you start seeing double, the picture will still be single. Well, what do you think of it?
Oh, it's wonderful, Al. Jane, don't you think he's a live wire?
No, but I'd like to see him holding on to one. Look, Al, if you really want to be helpful, see if you can get Irma's money back.
What money?
I paid $30 for piano lessons, but now that Jane has sent the piano back, I won't be able to hear what I'm playing.
Well, if we want to get that money back, chicken, all we got to do is tell him a pathetic story, and it's got to work.
Are you sure, Al?
Why, certainly. Sob stories have worked all through history. Take Columbus. After he discovered America and came back to report to the Queen, she started to bawl him out. So he explained in these words, Your Royal Highness, I know you meant us to go to India, but we got lost with no compass. Thus came the expression, non-compass mentis.
Oh, brother.
You see, Jane, you think Al doesn't know anything. Well, this ought to prove it.
Good heavens, what was that?
That's Mrs. O'Reilly. She sounds like she's being killed.
Calm yourself. I had the same hope. But she's only singing. And she won't tell me why.
Everybody.
Oh, Mrs. O'Reilly, why the sudden burst of song?
Why, don't you know it's almost time for the annual singing contest?
What singing contest?
Oh, it's a neighborhood thing, Al. The community center around the corner gives a $50 prize to the winner.
That's right. It's 72nd Street versus 73rd Street. And since it's a friendly affair, I'm entering the contest.
Mrs. O'Reilly, you are entering the contest?
And why not?
Look, Mrs. O'Reilly, just because you are built like the sextet from Lucia don't mean you can sing like that.
Oh, yes. For your information, I'll have you know I came in second last year. I would have won, but I had a frog in my throat.
Well, then it's your own fault. You should have kept still and let the frog sing.
Oh, look. Hold it a minute. Oh, please, Professor. Let let me see that circular.
Irma, what are you up to?
Now, let's see. Bagpipe, trombone, bugle. Oh, here it is. Vocal lessons.
Vocal lessons?
Well, Jane, I can't get my money back for the piano lessons, so maybe I can take vocal lessons for a couple of weeks and then try for the prize.
Irma, you can't even carry a tune.
Oh, I will go in for any of that heavy music. Miss O'Reilly, do you mind if I compete with you?
Oh, I'm used to competition.
Sure. Wasn't she in that sewing contest with Betsy Ross?
You know, Jane, I think Chicken's got a great idea.
Well, I suppose the money is lost anyway, so no harm can come from her trying.
Oh, thank you, Jane, and I'm going to try very hard, and you can't tell what'll happen.
Oh, this is exciting. Wouldn't it be terrific if Chicken turned out to be a female Caruso?
Yes, Al, and then you'll be my man Friday.
You know, they say when most good singers sing, the glasses vibrate. But when Irma sings, you get the feeling the glasses are trying to run back into the cupboard. Deep in my heart, I know she hasn't got a chance to win the contest, and the money she gave the Beethoven Music School is down the drain, but there's always a chance that the judge of the contest may have worked in Atlantic City and will declare Irma the winner because she has the nicest legs. Which gives me the thought that if Irma were a cricket and would rub her legs together, she'd make better music than she does with her voice. Uh-oh, there she goes again.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Gee, aren't those lyrics pretty, Jane?
Irma, are you sure this is what you want to do?
Oh, this song, my practice number. I can pick any song I want to for the audition. I may even sing an operatic number.
Opera? Do you know any?
My favorite is Laugh, Clown, Laugh from the opera Parcheesi.
Parcheesi. Oh, yes, that must be Italian for pagliacci. Look, sweetie, I've already resigned myself to kissing that $30 goodbye, but as long as you insist on going through with this audition, don't you think you should try to sing something simple?
Well, there are 3 simple songs I like. I'm Just a Prisoner of Love, Why Not Take All of Me, and He's Too Fat for Me. Gee, all afternoon at the office, I was trying to decide which one I liked best.
At the office? So your boss, Mr. Clyde, must have just loved that.
Yes, he said my singing really sends him. It's just that he has so much work to do at the office, he can't go.
Oh, Irma, why don't you just forget this whole thing?
Oh, no, Jane, I'm sure I can sing. Don't forget they laughed at another singer, but now he's a millionaire.
What singer are you talking about?
The one who sells all those sewing machines. Well, listen, Jane, I'm going down to the dime store. So far I have A Prisoner of Love, and Why Not Take All of Me, and the others, but maybe I'll find something I like better.
All right, sweetie. Goodbye. Hello. Who? The community center? Oh, yes, Mr. Sterling. What? You received Irma Peterson's application to enter the singing contest. What? You're listening to all the 73rd Street contestants in a half an hour? Yes, I'll tell her you'll be here. What? Yes, I'll convey the same message to Mrs. O'Reilly. Thank you, Mr. Sterling. Goodbye. Come in. Oh, Mr. Clyde.
Miss Stacy, excuse me for barging in like this. Is Irma Peterson here?
No, but she'll be right back. Why?
I want to fire her. I want to assassinate her. I don't know what I want to do to her.
Now, control yourself, Mr. Clyde.
I'm sorry, Miss Stacy. That girl has worked for me for some time, and I put up with a lot. I didn't mind when she cut holes in my galoshes so the water would run out. And I could even take it when she had my desk painted and I put my new top coat over it so no one would get their hands wet. But what is this song title madness?
Well, Mr. Clyde, she's entering a singing contest, and she has song titles on her mind.
On her what? Miss Stacy, I dictated a letter to her yesterday, and I found this carbon copy. It's to my most important client. I'm supposed to be a lawyer, but when he gets this letter, I'll need one.
Well, let me see it. Dear Mr. Vanderbilt, I regret the Court of Appeals decided against us, but I trust you'll appreciate my position in this matter, as I am just a prisoner of love. Oh, no.
Continue.
Please remember that you have had my untiring efforts, my 30 years of experience, my unimpeachable integrity, so why not take all of me?
There's more. Keep going.
I was considering enlisting the help of ex-Senator Bernard Sindel, but I have decided against this because he's too fat for me. I don't know what to say.
There's nothing for you to say. If I lose this client, not only is Miss Peterson fired, but I'm going to sue her. Goodbye.
Mrs. O'Reilly! Mrs. O'Reilly!
Hello, Jane. Where's Chicken?
Al, let me ask you a sentimental question. Would you like to have Irma at your side through the years?
Couldn't think of anything better. Why?
Well, save a space for her in the unemployment line. She lost her job.
Lost her job? What's the matter with that girl? Is she going Hollywood?
Al, it's a long story. All I know is she just about lost her job. She hasn't got a nickel in the bank. She's wasted money on singing lessons, and she hasn't got a chance to win the contest. Now, Al, what are we going to do?
Oh, wait a minute, Jane. I think I hear her coming.
I'm just a prisoner of love.
Chicken, your prison days are over. Got a feeling you're about to be executed.
Why, Al? What's happened? I'll tell you, Irma. I just had a talk with Mr. Clyde, and he's disgusted with you. You're just about to lose your job.
And in that case, you're going to need that $30 you spent for lessons to tide you over. So you got to go back to that Beethoven music school and cry for your money. Give them a real sob story.
Oh, but, gosh, I wouldn't know what to say.
Well, there's nothing to it. You simply say something like, you lost your job, and if you don't get the $30 back, you will have nothing to eat, and the children will starve. You got it, Chicken?
Oh, word for word.
Good. Let me hear it.
All right, now let's see. I want the $30 back because I'm starved and I have nothing to eat but the children.
Hold it, Chicken. You got the right words, but they sound like they went through the mixmaster.
Oh, Al, you know she won't get it right. Besides, there are no refunds.
Yes, and I'm determined to go through with the contest.
Okay, Chicken. When our backs are against the wall and there ain't no time to stall, there's only one man to call.
Who, Al?
Who else but... Hello, Joe. Al, got a problem. Irma is entering a contest in the community center. How can I make sure she wins when she sings? Huh? You don't like people who sing? Well, why not, Joe? Uh-huh. 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 Mm-hmm. Your brother did some singing to the district attorney, and they almost tracked your whole gang. Can understand your point. So I guess you can't help us, but thanks for the effort, and goodbye, noble friend.
Come in.
Hello, folks. Janie, the professor here told me you called me.
Yes, I did, Mrs. O'Reilly. Mr. Sterling from the community sing call. He's going to audition all the applicants in this block, and he'll be here any minute.
Any minute? Glory be. I'd better try my voice. Oh, la, la. Oh, well, my notes seem to be nice and pear-shaped.
Why not? You're built like one.
Why, you tattered old Toscanini, you.
Mrs. O'Reilly, please, I'm only fooling. You know that, to me, you look like a queen.
Well, that's better.
The Queen Mary in Drydock.
Now, listen here, you.
Oh, please be still. Will you? Someone's at the door. Come in.
Good evening. I am Mr. Sterling.
Oh, yes, you called.
I hope I'm not late. I've been listening to all the applicants on this block, and I must say, up to this point, 72nd Street has it all over, but 73rd Street.
Well, we're going to change that.
Are you Irma Peterson?
Oh, no, I am. But listen to Mrs. O'Reilly first because I'm trying to memorize the words of my song.
All right, Mrs. O'Reilly. What are you going to sing?
Well, I was going to sing a little Welsh number called Lost
in the wilderness.
Inspired by a visit to my room.
But instead I'll sing the last rose of summer.
Let's hear it.
Well, here we go. Ready, Professor?
Ready.
'Tis the last rose of summer left blooming alone. All her lovely companions are dead and
That's very interesting. And, and now, Miss Peterson, what are you going to say?
Well, I was going to sing I'm Just a Prisoner of Love, but I forgot the words, so I'll sing Onesie Twosie, because any child can remember that.
I'll accompany you, my darling. You ready? 1, 2.
Onesie Twosie, I'll kiss yousie. Hey, Jane, what comes after Twosie?
Try threesie.
Threesie? Jane, are you sure it's threesie?
Yes, didn't you just sing Twosie?
Yes, but I thought Wednesday came after Tuesday.
If you don't mind, Miss Peterson, I'll come back when you know what day it is. Goodbye.
No, don't cry, Irma, darling.
Well, she's got plenty to cry about. She spent her last $30. She's out of the contest. And to make things fifthly adorable, she's lost her job.
But don't forget, she's still got me.
That still leaves the score 0-0.
This is the blackest day of my life.
Oh, you always say that.
Well, this is really dark black. Come in. Oh, it's you, Mr. Clyde.
Look, Miss Peterson, I'm a square-dealing man, and I always say what's on my mind. That letter you sent to our client who lost $50,000 in that case yesterday.
Yes?
Well, he just called me. He said he laughed at your letter so much he forgot his losses and gave me another case.
What?
And to show my appreciation, you're rehired, and here's a $50 bonus.
Oh, I'm so happy I could sing.
You do, and I'll take back the money.
Of Irma's musical career, Lily Pons can now breathe easy again. And thanks to Mr. Clyde's generosity, Irma has $50. Irma, what are you going to do with the $50?
Oh, I think we ought to get the piano back. I need it.
Honey, you never touched the piano. What do you mean you need it?
Well, every time Al kissed me, I used to lean against the piano. Now I'm liable to fall out the window.
And you know something? She may fall out of the window head first, but believe me, she'll land on her feet if I know my friend Irma.
Lever Brothers Company, makers of Swan, the soap that gives you a wonderful new kind of suds, presents
Our friend Swan.
With my friend Irma.
Starring Mary Wilson as Irma and Kathy Lewis as Jane.
Friendship, friendship, just a perfect friendship. When other friendships have been forgot, theirs will still be hot. My friend Irma.
You know, when I went to school, I studied French, Spanish, and Latin. I always thought Latin was the most difficult thing to understand. Then I met my friend Irma. Now, don't get me wrong, because me, Jane Stacy, I love that girl. It's only that she... Well, for instance, the other night I was reading the evening paper and I said, Irma, honey, imagine a man 84 years old just became a father for the first time. And
84,
Irma said...
84 years? Gee, what a long honeymoon.
I'll take Latin every time. Right now, Irma's staring at the calendar. Her watch has stopped, so she's probably trying to figure out what time it is. Irma, what's on your mind?
Oh, Jane, honey, I just checked the calendar, and do you know today is 1 year since we started rooming together?
A year already? Gee, I can't believe it. Let's see. Oh, of course, the 1st of December. We'd both agreed to share this room. Mrs. O'Reilly said the rent would be $25 for the two of us, and you asked her to please make it $30 because you didn't know what half of 25 was.
Well, in those days I was much younger, didn't know as much as I do today.
Yeah, honey. Yeah, you've come a long way.
Oh, thank you. But, Jane, we just can't ignore an anniversary. We should have some kind of a celebration. I know, I'll buy you a present.
Oh, no, honey, it's not necessary. I appreciate the thought, but you don't. I'll get it. Hello?
Hello, Jane.
Oh, Richard.
Jane, would you mind doing me a favor? I'm away from the office, and I'm going to need some petty cash for this evening, so I've asked Peggy, from the accounting department,
Yeah?
to drop $100 off at your apartment on her way home. Is that all right?
Oh, sure. I'll be glad to keep it for you.
Oh, thank you very much. Now, I'll be by to pick up the $100 later. Bye.
Bye, Richard.
Anything wrong, Jane?
No, dear, it was Richard. He's coming by later. Let's see. Now, what were we talking about?
Our anniversary. Gee, Jane, remember the fun we had when we first moved in together?
I'll never forget it, Irma. We couldn't decide who would sleep in the bed by the window, so you tossed a nickel. It flew out of the window, was picked up by a fellow who was walking past. He brought it up to find out how big a reward we'd give.
Yes, wasn't that a romantic way to meet my boyfriend, Al?
Well, to me, it just goes to prove that if you don't hold on to your money, you can get into all kinds of trouble. Come in.
Hello, Jane. Hiya, chicken.
Hello, Al, honey. We were just talking about you.
Ain't got no time for no chit-chat. Working on the hottest deal of my life.
Oh, Al, not another deal. What happened to that wonderful process you had for removing the name from hotel towels?
Didn't work. Removed too much of the towel. In fact, was left with nothing but the name. But can't miss with my new deal.
Well, what is it, Al?
Have an invisible ink for printing the answers in school books. Can only be read with special glasses.
But, Al, won't the teachers find out?
The glasses will only be made in junior sizes.
Oh, Al, you're wonderful. Gee, Jane, is it any wonder Al's my everything?
Don't worry, you won't always be that poor.
Oh, please, Jane, don't insult Al on our anniversary.
Anniversary? Chicken, is there something about us I should know?
Oh, not me and you, Al. It's Jane and I. We've been rooming together 1 year today.
Well, this calls for a celebration. Why don't you girls make me a dinner?
No, we want this day to be different. You eat out.
Oh, but Jane, Al is right. We should celebrate. I know. I'll bake a cake.
Irma, please, no. Not that you're a bad cook, but when most people bake a cake, no one can jump up and down or the cake will fall. When you bake a cake, we all have to jump up and down to get it loose from the stove.
Well, I have a new recipe, and I'm going down to the grocer's and get some flour. I'd like to make an upside-down cake, but I don't know how to spell happy anniversary backwards.
Well, just spell it the way you always do, and you can't miss.
All right, I won't say goodbye because I'll be right back. I'll just say auf Wiedersehen. That's German for Gesundheit.
Great kid, ain't she, Jane?
Oh, I think so. Of course, so many people wonder how I can keep living with a girl who thinks President Hoover invented the vacuum cleaner. And that DDT is a doctor of dentistry and teeth. And that Seabiscuit was fish bait. But then again, I've never in my life met anyone with a bigger heart, with a greater warmth and an honesty of character than Irma has.
I agree with you 100%. Why do you think I want to make her my wife?
That's because she's got a job. Come in.
It's only me, Professor Kropotkin. Hello, Jenny, now.
Hello, Professor. Come on in.
Thank you.
Hi, Professor.
Jane, I hope you don't mind my stopping by for a minute. You see, the steam in my room is terrible.
Steam? I didn't know you had steam in your room.
Well, I haven't had it very long, but Mrs. O'Reilly just came up for the rent, and she found I couldn't pay her, so she started blowing off. And I refused to stay in the steam room.
Oh, Professor.
Now, listen, Janie, in the steam room you get a massage, and Mrs. O'Reilly rubs me the wrong way. Where is my darling little Irma?
Well, she went out to some flour.
That reminds me, if Irma's going to make a cake, I'm going to go to the drugstore and get something to go with it.
Ice cream?
No, bicarbonate. I'll see you later.
That Jane's a great little kidder, huh? And by the way, Professor, the girls are celebrating an anniversary. It was just a year ago today when they moved in here.
And what a ray of sunshine those girls have been. When they first moved in, I was sick in bed. And then Irma came up. She rubbed my head, held my hand, and sang little songs to me. You know, to this day, I can't enjoy music unless it's off key.
Oh, hello, chicken. Back already?
Oh, Al, look what I found on the street.
A lady's handbag. Chicken, anybody see you pick it up?
Al, I don't like the way you said that. I told you I found it. I wouldn't think of keeping it. That would be dishonest.
Chicken, you're in the clear. It's only dishonest when you find something before it's lost.
Oh, Al. We must find out who lost it so we can return it.
A good idea. Let's open up the handbag and find out who is the owner.
Okay, empty the stuff there on the table, chicken.
All right, Al.
My, look at all the stuff a woman carries in her handbag. You know, it's the first 5 and 10 cent store I've ever seen with leather walls.
Oh, Al, this lady's handbag belongs to a man.
What?
Well, his name is right here on the watch, Ben Russ, probably short for Benjamin Russell.
No, chicken. Let's keep looking.
Mama, look what she's got here. Hair nets, hair pins, hair dye, hair ribbons, hair shampoo.
Well, we know one thing. She can't be a bald-headed woman.
Now, let's see. Cigarette case, lipstick. Uh-oh, this dame's a dangerous woman.
Why, Al?
She's got a driver's license. And here's her name, Mrs. R.L. McLean.
Gee, Al, look at all the money in this wallet.
Yeah, and here's her address, Ardmore Towers, West End Avenue. Classy neighborhood. Probably wouldn't even miss the dough.
Al, I'm surprised at you. Would you think of keeping this money?
Only for a charitable purpose. Chicken, did you ever hear of Robin Hood, the guy who took from the rich and gave to the poor?
Yes.
You think Robin Hood was a bad guy?
No.
You know anybody richer than Mrs. McLean?
No.
You know anybody poorer than me?
No.
What do I have to do? Learn how to shoot a bow and arrow?
No, Al, we must return it. Honesty is the best policy. Don't you agree, Professor?
Well, I can only talk from experience. Once I knew a poor street cleaner who found a wallet with $50,000. He took it home, and for 3 nights he couldn't sleep. His conscience was keeping him awake. Finally, he couldn't stand it any longer, so he took the wallet back to the rich man, who gave him a reward, and he went home and slept like a baby.
What'd he give him?
Sleeping pills.
Is that the moral of the story?
No. Then he overslept and lost his job.
You see, Irma?
It doesn't make any difference, Al. We must return the money.
Glad you came through, chicken. Was only testing your character. Wouldn't touch the money myself. However, if this Mrs. McLean is so rich, I'm quite sure there'll be a reward involved. So we have to handle it on a businesslike basis. We got to make her think we're rich, too. Then she'll be ashamed to offer us a small reward.
Sounds plausible.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Al?
Well, her number's on the card. I'm calling her. Oh, hello, Mrs. McLean, please. Here, chicken, you talk to her. When I put on a high-class voice, they get wise too quick.
But, Al, I don't know what to say.
Well, say something ritzy. You were out walking your Pomeranian because your butler was in the bath. You happened to glance in the gutter, and there was her purse. You got it?
Got it. Hello? Mrs. McLean? Well, my Pomeranian went for a walk because I happened to glance in the gutter when my butler was taking a bath in your purse.
Hold it, chicken. Here, let me talk to her. Mrs. McLean, did you lose your handbag? Oh, you did? Well, will you please describe the reward? I mean, the handbag. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh, that's it. Yeah, my fiance found the handbag, and we're prepared to surrender it. Yeah, it's sitting right here. Why don't you come down and bail it out? Oh, you're busy, but you'll send your secretary. With the reward. Good. Yeah, we're at 8224 West 73rd Street. Oh, it's only a block away. Fine. Yeah, we'll be waiting for your secretary. Goodbye. Wonder how big a reward a dame like that'll come through with. Chicken, when she comes, I'll handle it.
Hello?
Irma, this is Jane.
Oh, hello, Jane. Where are you?
Well, I decided to pick up my cleaning, honey. Listen, has anyone dropped by from Richard's office?
No, why? Anything I can do?
No, I better come home and handle it myself. Goodbye, honey.
Goodbye. Gee, I forgot to tell her about the reward we're going to get.
You don't have to. She's got a rich boyfriend.
Oh, Al, I feel so good that we're doing the right thing. You see, Al, I want to be honest, and I want you to be honest, too. Then, when we get married and have children, they'll be honest.
Fine thing to look forward to, a family of street cleaners.
Speaking of street cleaners, I think I'll go up to that 5th floor gutter I live in. Goodbye.
Pardon me, where does James Stacy live?
Why, lady, is something wrong?
Oh, no, not at all. I'm from Mr. Rhinelander's office. I'm supposed to deliver an envelope here to him.
Oh, I see. The apartment is 3B.
Thank you.
Come in.
Hello,
I know. You're the secretary with the money.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
I guess you know all about this envelope with $100.
$100?
It's not the amount, chicken. It's the thought behind it. We'll take it, thank you, miss, and here's the handbag.
Handbag? Well, nothing was said about a handbag.
Just take it. Your employer knows all about it.
Well, if you say so, I'll take it back to the office with me. Goodbye.
How do you like that? Can't trust help. This dame McLean sends her secretary, gives us the $100, and she don't even want to take the handbag back to her.
Oh, Al, $100 of my own. Do you know what I'm going to do with this?
What?
I'm going to put it away for a little nest egg for us.
Ain't interested in birds. Let's hatch it now, chicken.
And now Susie Swan sings to us. Listen.
My advice, says Susie, you like this brand new kind of lather, so be choosy. Swan gives you beauty lather rich as cream. Your skin stays soft as any dream, and fresh as dew. I Swan, do you? Says Susie.
Yes, Susie Swan, and what a bath you get with Swan's wonderful new kind of beauty lather. Why, it makes every bath a real pleasure. Sure, it's a pleasure the way Swan's new kind of beauty lather feels against your skin. So soft, so gentle, soft as a cloud. And it's a pleasure, too, the way white floating Swan cleanses your skin. Gently, yet so thoroughly you step from the tub with your skin fairly glowing with cleanliness. And you love the way Swan's new kind of beauty lather rinses away. So completely your skin doesn't feel all over-soaped. Instead, it's left radiantly fresh. And ladies, no other soap gives you this wonderful new kind of beauty lather, because no other soap has Swan's exclusive super creamed blend. So make your baths a real pleasure with Swan's wonderful new kind of beauty lather.
It's a funny thing, but when you're in a hurry to get home, the distance always seems twice as long. Maybe I'm being a little overcautious, but I'd like to be home just so Richard's $100 won't fall in the hands of Irma and Al by mistake. Gee, $100. Wonder what Richard's going to use it for. Take me out? Gee, as I walk along, I get a warm glow just thinking about him. What a wonderful guy. Too bad he has such a limited vocabulary. Seems he just can't say, Jane, will you be mine? But leap year's coming, and so help me, I'm going to have a speech ready for January the 1st. I think I'll rehearse it right now. Let's see, I'll say, good evening, honey. And then I'll say, sweetheart, will you marry me?
Sorry, lady, I already got 5 kids. Try the other side of the street.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Well, after that, I stopped talking out loud and hurried home. I opened the door and called Irma. Irma! Oh, they're gone. Well, I guess I'll just wait around until Richard's secretary arrives with $100.
Well, here's the bank, Al. I think I'll deposit my $100 reward.
Chicken, I'm a little disappointed in you. I didn't think you'd be so cruel.
Cruel?
Yeah, you know what they say. Your best friend is the dollar. Well, is it right to take all those nice friends and lock them up like criminals?
Gee, Al, I never thought of it that way. Well, what do you think I ought to do with the money?
Well, Chicken, if you really want to look at it honestly, that $100 isn't yours to keep. It's yours to enjoy. Its purpose is to reward you, to make you happy. Now, does going out with me and having a good time make you happy?
Yes.
Yeah. And you figured it all out by yourself.
Oh, yes, Al. You know, when we think together, we're a great team.
Yeah. Sort of a Svengali and Trilby.
Huh?
What I mean, Chicken, is I lead the way and you back me up. You understand?
Oh, sure. You're the engine and I'm the caboose.
Choo-choo, Chicken. Get out that $100 and let's go.
Come in.
Hello, Jane.
Oh, hello, Richard. You're a little early. Your $100 hasn't arrived yet.
Well, that's funny. I called the office and they said Peggy left with the money over an hour ago.
Oh, well, it could have been delivered while I was out, but I don't see it anyplace, and I know that Irma wouldn't take anything that wasn't hers.
Well, Jane, maybe I'd better go back to the office and check up.
Richard? Why are you staring like that? What are you thinking?
Oh, nothing.
Don't lie, Richard. You're thinking exactly the same thing I'm thinking. Where do Irma and Al fit into this thing?
Oh, now, please, Jane, I'm not making any accusations. It's just that, well, while I'm generally nervous when they're around, but when they're not, I get panicky.
Oh, Richard, do you think Irma would take money that doesn't belong to her and spend it?
Oh, of course not.
Why, come in.
How do you do? I'm Mrs. McLean's secretary.
Yes?
I've come for the handbag.
I beg your pardon?
The handbag. My employer described it over the phone for you.
She did?
Of course. Now, may I have it?
This may come as a shock, but I don't know what you're talking about.
My dear young lady, I'm here to claim the pocketbook you found and give you the reward. Now, where is it?
Richard, would you please tell her
that you don't have to tell me anything. I know what's happened. You had a change of heart. After looking at the contents of the bag, you decided to keep it. Well, it won't work, lady, and that goes for your accomplice, too.
I beg your pardon.
And I'm going to sit right here until I get that handbag.
Well, there she sits. One eye on me and one eye on Richard. I don't know how to describe the expression on her face, but she could very easily be Peter Lorre with a wig. What this is all about is just beyond me, and to top it off, I'm beginning to feel guilty. Richard is shifting from one foot to the other and looking at me as though I'm a criminal. I'm trying to look back at him as if I'm not. Oh, Irma. Irma, wherever you are, won't you and Al please come back? We're trapped by Sitting Bull. Please come in.
Oh, hello, Peggy.
Oh, hello, Mr. Rhinelander. I've been trying to get in touch with you.
Why?
Well, I don't mean to be impudent, but does this handbag belong to you?
I should say it doesn't. That's the handbag my employer sent me for. So you didn't know anything about it, huh?
Now, just a minute, madam.
Pardon me. Am I intruding?
Oh, Professor Kropotkin.
Oh, a professor, huh? You people have a better setup here than Murder Incorporated.
Please, Professor, can't you help us clarify this thing? You see, this woman accuses us of stealing somebody's handbag, and Richard's $100 are missing, and Professor, I don't like the expression on your face. I feel a little sick.
Janie, wait until you hear what I have to say. You'll have a relapse. Here, lady, take your handbag.
Now you're being sensible. Goodbye.
Professor, if you know anything, please tell us.
So, Janie, it's simple. 1, Irma found the handbag. 2, somebody brought her $100. 3, she thought it was a reward. 4, she's out spending it without.
Mr. Rhinelander, I'm awfully
No,
sorry.
it wasn't your fault, Peggy. You go on back to the office. I'll see you later.
All right. Goodbye.
Oh, really? How could Irma make such a mistake?
Janie, please, don't be so shocked. It's not such an impossible mistake, considering the fact that Irma has always believed the Flatiron Building is a place to take her laundry.
Yeah, but Professor, it's Richard's money.
No, that's all right, Jane. It's just one of those things.
No, Richard. The money was delivered here, and it's my responsibility. And besides, when Irma finds out what she's done, it'll just break her heart. Richard, we've just got to stop them before they spend it all.
Well, where do we look for them?
Simple. Where would any normal person go?
I don't know.
Well, all we got to do is to find out where any normal person will go, and we'll go in the opposite direction.
Gee, let me think a minute. Let's see. There's the Opera, the Art Museum, Carnegie Hall, and, of course, Coney Island. Come on, let's go.
Oh, Al, that was fun. I just love the merry-go-round. Let's go around again.
All right, chicken. The night is still young.
Sure, Al. We haven't even started to spend my $100 yet.
Well, Richard, Coney Island's an awful big place. Where do we start?
Well, your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah. Well, let's ask that man by the scales. Pardon me, mister.
Oh, sorry. We don't guess ladies' weights anymore. Them long skirts is throwing us.
Well, I don't want my weight guess. I want to know if you've seen a blonde girl with a fellow with shifty eyes.
Yeah, come to think of it, I saw him get on a merry-go-round.
You did?
Yeah, I remember because most people look dizzy when they get off. She looked that way when she got on.
Yeah, well, that's Irma, all right. Come on, Richard, we're on the trail. Richard, I think we've picked up their trail. I'll give you 2 to 1 that Irma just left the archery range.
How do you know?
4 people just walked by with arrows sticking in them. Come on, let's ask the man here, right here at the refreshment stand.
All right. Pardon me, sir, but did a blonde girl and a fellow in a gray suit stop here for refreshments?
Refreshments? 10 bottles of root beer, 6 mission orange, 3 7-Up, 5 hot dogs, 3 hamburgers, and 2 taffy apples.
All that?
Yep. Now, let's see. What did the girl have?
Never mind, that's them. Come on, Richard. Oh, no. Oh, look, there they are, going into the crazy house. Let's hurry.
Oh, Al, isn't it fun here in the crazy house? These tricky mirrors are a scream. Look how skinny I look. And you look so fat and sloppy.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, I'm sorry, lady. I thought it was looking glass.
Come on, chicken. Let's try the echo chamber.
Oh, it's so dark in here.
Watch this. This is Al.
This is Al.
Oh, gee, let me try it. Hello? This is Irma.
This is Jane.
Oh, gee, I broke it.
Chicken, I think your echo is being followed.
Irma. Oh, Irma, thank goodness I found you.
Oh, hello, Jane. Happy anniversary.
Never mind that. Before I explain everything, will you answer me one question? How much money do you have left of that $100?
102?
102? How come?
Well, Al's got such a talent for counting out change.
other evening, I noticed Irma doing something very strange, even for Irma. And I said, pardon me for asking, but why have you put a compass on top of those cakes of swan soap? And Irma said,
well, winter is here, Jane, and you know how birds like to fly south, and I don't want our swans to get lost.
Well, Jane, no matter what Irma says, she wouldn't be without white floating swan soap for her baths. And there's plenty of reason why a lot of women feel the same way. Now, you see, Swan gives you a brand new kind of beauty lather. Yes, a new kind of beauty lather that's soft and rich, that you smooth onto your skin like whipped cream. A new kind of lather that whisks away dirt, leaves your skin glowingly fresh and clean. And Swan's wonderful new kind of beauty lather means a wonderful new after-a-bath feeling, too. Yes, your skin is left soft and smooth, not all tight and over-soaped, because Swan rinses away so completely. So, how about trying Swan's new kind of beauty lather yourself? You'll like it for your baths.
well, everything turned out better than I expected. Richard has his $100 back, and me, I'm in bed. And although the mattress isn't moving, I'm still spinning from that trip to Coney Island.
Oh, Jane, you know, after Al and I left the merry-go-round, I went to the fortune tellers.
Oh, you had your mind read?
Yes, and then the man gave me my money back. I don't know why.
Well, Irma doesn't know why, and Al doesn't know why, but you and I know why, don't we? But we won't tell my friend Irma.
My Friend Irma, presented by Swan, another fine product of Lever Brothers Company, was produced and directed by Cy Howard. Tonight's script was written by Cy Howard and Park Levy. Folks, next Monday evening, tune in an hour earlier over most of these same stations for the Lux Radio Theater. And then stay tuned to listen to...
Our friend Swan.
With my friend Irma.
Starring Mary Wilson as Irma and Kathy Lewis as Jane. Hans Conried was Professor Kropotkin. Mary Wilson can soon be seen in the Eagle Lion release, Linda Be Good. Ladies, listen. The shortage of fats and oils is still very serious, and it's worldwide. So please keep on saving every single drop of used kitchen fat. Your butcher will pay you for every pound. Frank Bingman speaking.
Spry with Cake Improver. Spry with Cake Improver.
It's news to sing about. Spry with Cake Improver gives lighter, finer, richer-tasting cakes than any other type shortening. For no other type shortening has Spry's marvelous Cake Improver. So for lighter, more delicious cakes that stay fresh longer, try...
Spry with Cake Improver. Spry with Cake Improver.
Tune in again to My Friend Irma next Monday evening at this same time. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.